And we're live. Welcome back. Welcome to our Friday Night Live. I'm so happy that you guys are here.
And we're
You just make
live.
sure.
Welcome back. Welcome
Go
to
now.
our Friday Night Live. I'm so happy that you guys are here.
Where is that coming
Hey,
from?
Someone's echoing.
Does anybody have?
I'm clean.
Yeah, I'm clean.
There we are.
Now we are good. We're good to go. Okay. Let us know where you all are hopping on from. If you're connecting with us, watching our live stream today, comment it down below if you're watching the playback or in the live chat. I'm in Las Vegas and I cannot wait to jump into all of your questions. I do want to introduce my carnivore friends first because I do know a lot of newcomers here watching for the first time. Welcome, welcome. I'll start with Adek. Introduce yourself.
Ooh, am I the first one? Oh, that's lovely. Okay. Hi, I'm Adek. I live in the Netherlands. And I'm turning 50 in December. 4.5 years carnivore. And I think, let's see what's carnivore done for me real quick. Lots of mental issues. I really had many anxieties. I was always very shy and afraid to go in public. I even had agoraphobia, and that's all gone. So, and I think it's really due to carnivore. I had an extensive therapy, but I was the only one who didn't need to go on medication as an antidepressants. And I really believe it's because I was doing carnivore the whole time. And one of the other things that I was struggling with my whole life was lots of all kinds of eating disorders. And even at the age of 42, I was only 44 kilos. That's about 97 pounds. So, and because of carnivore, I'm able to manage it. I mean, it's always there, but I have it all under control. And that's all due to carnivore. Yeah. That's about it.
Bravo. Round of applause to Adek and everything that she's healed with this carnivore lifestyle. Yay. You're so cute. Oh. Lindy, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Lindy. I'm from Melbourne, Australia, 53 years old, mum of 2. I reached very close, plus or minus 800 pounds 3 years ago. I tried every diet. I had lap band surgery 27 years ago, failed that too, and found the Carnivore Diet by accident through Dr. Berry and then Bella. And I joined the Steak and Butter gang. Have been with the gang for 3 years this January. Can you believe it? So I've lost over 500 pounds. Still on my journey, still got a lot to lose, but slow and steady wins the race, and I'm happy things are slowing down now, and I'm happy with my progress, and I will continue to lose. I've reversed type 2 diabetes, no longer diabetic. Lymphedema, lipedema improved. I used to have weekly migraines, all gone. Depression gone, anxiety gone, mobility, balance, all improved. Went to the Coldplay concert 2 nights ago.
Oh,
Never thought I would actually get out and live my life again. I'm driving again. I can fit behind the wheel of a car. So many non-scale victories. They say that, carnivore diet is restrictive. Try being 700-800 pounds. That is restrictive. I have my life back. So meat heals.
Oh my God, beautiful. Applause to Lindy. Absolutely incredible. Dr. Smith, Dr. Phil. Okay. I don't know why I call you Dr. Smith. Okay. I usually call you Dr. Phil.
That's okay. I can play the guy on Lost in Space. Oh, the pain, the pain. Anyway, I'm a retired family physician and clinical informatician. I retired in 2019. I'm 67. I live in Tampa Bay, Florida. Also have a master's in physiology. So I'm really interested in helping take really complex concepts and try to help people understand them a little more simply. I came to carnivore with metabolic syndrome and reversed it in 4 months. And now I'm just part of the SBG community, just another dude trying to get healthy.
Mm-hmm. Bravo to Dr. Phil. We love you in there. Yes. Let's do Coach Raymond.
Hi, I'm Raymond Nazon. I'm 52, father of 2, and I've been carnivore 7 years. And I've gone through a slew of symptoms, diverticulitis being one, heel spur, plantar fasciitis, and the normal sleep apnea. I say normal. A lot of people have that, but I did severely. All of those were gone. I've had skin issues, rosacea, um, dandruff. I mean, you name it, I've had it. Also, I was a binge eater, so every quarter I would binge eat. All of that is like not even existent. It's amazing the freedom that carnivore has gotten for me. It's not only a freedom that it's gotten for me; it's gotten me more of a spiritual awareness type, bodily awareness, mental awareness, and to me, wow, when the pain goes away, those really are enhanced, and I love feeling what quality of life can feel like.
We have Bill not in the house, guys. Hi, Bill.
Oh
Thank you so
wow,
much for joining us.
Hi,
Next time,
Bill.
I'm going to
glad to
invite
have
you
you.
to our live stream so we can feature your story as well. But hope
That'd
you're
be
doing
awesome.
well. Yeah. Todd, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Todd Bockness, 41 years old. I've been carnivore, well, it'll be 2 years and on January 1st. So almost 2 years. Let's see, I lost down 310 pounds. I was pretty stuck in a chair, really. Couldn't really move around. I was just over 715 pounds 23 months ago, roughly. And I had congestive heart failure. I was oxygen dependent. I really just couldn't get around. I was kind of stuck. I had reactive airway disease, and my lungs were in pretty bad shape. I had been fighting weight my whole life. I was 600 pounds when I was 14. And in 23 months of carnivore, I'm a new person. Congestive heart failure is gone, completely off oxygen. I was using a CPAP. I'm completely off of that. Off all my medications, depression, anxiety is completely gone, and just a new person. And so now I do this. I talk about it. So, yeah.
So grateful you are. Round of applause to Todd. Let's get started with the questions. Todd, if you don't mind just explaining how we do questions here in these live streams. Thank you.
Absolutely. So, yeah, you can just put 3 Q's, capital Q's in front of any of your questions, and you can put it in the chat, and we will get to it in order that they come in. However, super chats do take precedent. They must because people are paying for that. So we do have to take precedent with the super chats, but we please be patient. We will get to all your questions. Well, all the questions we can get in the next 2 hours for certain. And we appreciate you guys coming. But if you want to try to get them in, we always post these videos on up and coming videos. So please feel free to stop by during the week, because we do this every Friday, and put your questions in early and then be there for the questions.
Perfect. Thank you. Let's get started. All right. Hi, Stefan or Stephen. Hello. I've been on the carnivore diet for about 4 months now, and I'm experiencing a buildup of something behind my teeth. I'm just wondering what I need to do to either stop this. Is there more, or is that all of it? Okay.
Yeah,
I think that's
I've
probably most of it.
experienced
Go ahead, Raymond.
Yeah, I've experienced that. So behind the bottom teeth right here, like a little calcium buildup, and I don't know what causes that, but that has been done for me too. Eventually, it started caking off, so I don't have it as much anymore. But early on, I definitely did have it, and I don't know what could cause that.
I don't know. The mineralization on the back of your teeth were bad for me too. I had that for like 8 months, and it gets thick, but it does just chip off. And then I haven't had that in a while, but I did have that for like the first 6 to 8 months, really bad. I don't know what that mineralization was, but it's crazy.
Yeah, I wonder if it's some type of excretion that we're detoxing from, because I had a lot build up myself the first hygienist visit I went to after starting carnivore, and then 4 months later I went back, and I've had the best visits ever in the last year. So in fact, I had periodontal pockets, some of which were I had one that was 7 millimeters deep, normal's 3 or less, and those all resolved by the second time I went back. So 8 months of carnivore, my periodontal disease just went away. So I wouldn't worry too much, Stefan, about it. If it sounds like all of us have gotten it and it goes away, just hang in there.
There is a Dr. Robert Stock, I think. He's a dentist, and he actually has videos about the calculus behind the teeth, and he says there's nothing to worry about. So, yeah, do look him up on YouTube and have a look at those videos. It might explain a bit more.
That's true, Lindy. So his name's Dr. Kevin Stock. You can just search. Yeah, no worries. Kevin Stock on YouTube, on Google. He'll come up with amazing videos. Yeah, he's a dentist. Okay, let's keep going. This is from Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Welcome. What do you think about supplementing during priming with Within You Steak Shake protein powder? I panic when I'm comfortably stuffed. I've been using it as a lighter meal or pre-post workout meal. Go ahead, Raymond.
The purpose of priming is to actually feel the body with as much as possible comfortably stuffed. So if you're going to add a protein shake, I think I feel like it's kind of robbing you of a little bit of the proper satiation of what meat's going to feel like. The idea is to get used to meats, eggs, dairy, and feel that what's that feeling feel like, because it's so different than carbs, and you're stretching out as much as you possibly can comfortably. Once you get that concept down, and remember, it's just 2 weeks. Later on, maybe after 3 months, protein shakes may be good. I don't know how pure this protein shake is. I like this. Was it Epic Protein? Because it's hydrolyzed. Yeah, it's really actually it's just taking the fat away, and it's pure protein from what I understand and that's dehydrated, so that's pretty pure. I don't like the whey and all that stuff because they add sugars and they add all this other stuff, so that's kind of questionable. But that's my say. I don't know what you guys, or if you guys ever tried it. I've never tried any of these shakes. So
yeah.
No, I have not. No, because I understand that you panic, about being comfortably stuffed, because we're all brought up, especially us ladies, to always feel hungry, and that's the way to lose weight and stuff like that. And this comfortably stuffed is a really new sensation. And yeah, honestly, it was the first time I felt it was scary too. But to finally feel full and not be hungry after. Oh, that was just heaven to me, because I had starved my whole life, and it is a kind of a mindset that you need to change, because actually comfortable stuff is with a feeling that we have to go after to be able to recognize your hunger signals and not ignore them. We're not allowed to. We don't have to ignore them anymore. So yeah, I would go for real meat and real foods instead of powder to get that feeling.
Awesome. Let's keep going. Kyla, welcome. Doing animal-based 4 months now, and I get nausea after eggs and too much fat. But as a woman, shouldn't I be having lots of fat? Yes. But sometimes if you're still new, and 4 months is absolutely still new in my book, you need to adjust. You have to let your body be adapted to eating that much fat, that much protein. No more carbs. Only eating protein and fat is a lot for your body to deal with. So in my opinion, I feel like that's totally normal. Yes, women thrive off of more fat, but exactly how much, it's going to vary woman to woman. Lindy, are you high fat carnivore?
I am now. I wasn't at the start. I don't have a gallbladder, and I did find it went straight through me. So it took a good 6 to 8 months to actually be able to tolerate some fat. And even now, I still have days where it might hit me really hard, and then other days I'm fine. So that's just always the reality of it now. But yeah, you do need to take time to adjust.
Definitely. And the nausea of the eggs, I'm wondering if it's the whole egg. It could be just the whites where that makes you nauseous, or just the yolks. And take them out for a while. It's okay to not have eggs for a while and see how it goes. And then get used to the fat first, and then add them back in to see if that works.
Yeah. Any other tips, gentlemen? Okay. Let's keep going. Okay. Hi, Jorge. Good to see you here. I'm super confused. We figured out Miss Isabella macros and calories over 3,500 calories, and Dr. Kiltz eats about less than 1,000 calories.
That's true.
But
And
in Bella's defense, she can body slam kilts. So
And what Todd means by that is I'm very tall. That's what he means.
And stronger.
Okay, so Jorge says less than a handful of meat and some fats. Please explain. Thank you. Dr. Phil, do you want to tackle this first?
Well, we're all different, and it really depends on what your health goals are. And when you first start carnivore, most people start carnivore from a malnourished state, and that undernourishment you need to overcome. So you also have to look at your own situation, and in most cases, don't start undercutting calories. You're doing much better to build your hunger and satiety cues, build your nutrients in your body, heal up what you need to have done. And then and there's times in your life that you will eat less, and that's okay. Some people fast 4 days a week and they pull that off, and they might be eating 1,000 calories a day on average because they're only eating 3 days a week. So my advice is always eat more, be at the higher side.
Yeah.
I agree.
Go ahead, Raven.
Yeah, I wanted to say, you know, there are times that I'll do my alternate day fast, and I'm very much less on the amount of calories than I would a priming period. I have a priming period that's about out of 6 months, and I do eat quite a bit during that time. And the 6 months that I rotate to a fasting period, which is going to come up soon in the winter, and I'll do alternate day eating, and then that actually. So I like this seasonal approach. And everybody has a different seasonal approach. But when I feel a certain season, I feel like eating more or less. Like when the fall sets in, I am ravenous. So I encourage that. I'm very happy when I'm ravenous, actually, because that tells me that, hey, my body's ready to receive, it's ready to process, and that it knows what to do with the foods. So when I stop getting hungry, then I'll start fasting and enjoying that process, and of course enjoying the free time that I get. So again, I think seasonal, and just like Dr. Phil, I do prefer being more on the eating side.
Yeah. And, you know, us women, we eat more. That's just, you know, a fact. We've seen it before. We've seen it on our plates that we can eat. And I thought, just think, look, we keep on looking at the amount or what's on the calories, but maybe it's because we, us women, need more hormones because for the hormones. So, you know, so we try not to look at the calories and the amount, but just what our body needs at the moment's time and every day. And that differs every day too. So,
Yep. Absolutely. So Jorge, just to help clarify for you, I get why there's some confusion there, but absolutely, our height is quite different. I've met Dr. Kiltz. He was at my wedding. He actually married me and my husband. So he's a small guy. Okay, so he's just not nearly as tall as me. Therefore, it makes sense that he's eating less. And I think also Dr. Kiltz, he is on a diet. I think sometimes he's in that phase where he tries to restrict or count calories, because I do remember that he brought that up in our last guest Q&A, that he does keep an eye on his calories, which is fine. We all have different approaches in how we want to get to our goals. I personally tried that life. Doesn't work for me. Doesn't work for my specific goal, which is I want forever results. I don't want results that just last for like 2 weeks and then I have to bounce back and gain like all the way back plus more. I'm more in it for the long-term results and the health gains. So that's why I kind of just prioritize not looking at the numbers and eating lots of food. Yeah. Cool. Let's keep going. Hi, Susanna. Welcome. What are the best brands of HRT? Does anyone
USDA
take
prime beef. That's what the best brand is.
Love it, Todd. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, done.
HRT.
Yeah, hormone replacement therapy.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
That's
beef.
what. Okay, that is
Yeah.
what she's talking
Yeah,
about.
beef, prime beef is the best brand.
Yeah.
of
And fats.
for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay.
Ladies, do you guys take HRT here?
No,
No?
I don't want to ever because I believe I don't need to because I'm eating this way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm 50. I got my period back and it's regular. So I'm not going to be worried about hormones replacing stuff. No.
My wife is on it, but she's not carnivore either. So she's on progesterone and I think a little bit of testosterone. I don't know how they do it. But is there a brand? I didn't know there was a brand.
Oh.
Yeah, there's different manufacturers, but the most important thing is you want to be on a bioequivalent hormone replacement therapy. You don't want to take horse estrogens. You want to take human estrogens and human progesterone. So there are several manufacturers that make it, but you want to make sure you're getting estradiol or equivalent, bioequivalent for your estrogen and progesterone from. And a lot of women take the estradiol in the transdermal method because you use a more consistent dose, because when you take it orally, your liver deactivates quite a bit of it on what's called the first pass effect, and you're not getting as consistent of absorption that you get with a transdermal preparation. So that would be my recommendation.
Thank you, Dr. Phil. I just want to feature this comment from Ruby. Let's all celebrate together. This is awesome. She says, today is my 1-year anniversary of being on carnivore, doing great. Bravo. Congratulations. We like to call that carniversary. So happy 1-year carniversary. Oh, let's all share in the chat and in the comment section. How long have you been carnivore so far? I'd love to know. Okay, Todd. Hi, Cobra. She says, I have been on carnivore for 15 months and I just found out I have mercury in my thyroid. Why would this be happening now? Raymond, you're nodding. Do you know?
Yeah, I mean, really, I gotta say, when I went on the carnivore diet and also fasting, I had a lot of movement, stuff moving around, oxalates. I used to have a heavy mercury load too. I could taste it in my mouth, like this heavy metal taste. I mean, it might not be mercury. I don't know what it was, but and I would have certain issues with all of those. Also, my blood work was just terrible early on in carnivore. So I know there was a lot of movement. And then now it's like near perfect. Actually, it is perfect. The only thing I think is vitamin D. That's still a little low, and that's about it. So I just kind of winged through it and just noted that I have this issue. I mentioned it to the nurse and to the doctor, and of course they were telling me to stop this diet. But I was like, I just can't deny how I feel, so I just kept on going. Sure enough, it resolved itself.
Interesting. Yeah. Any ideas, Dr. Phil?
Well, most mercury comes from the ocean, and it comes from the bigger fish that eat the smaller fish. And so, for instance, sardines have virtually no mercury in them. Tunas, which are and salmon, which are bigger fish. And I guess a giant grouper would be your biggest fish, short of Jonah's whale. But whales don't eat fish; they eat plankton. But the bigger the fish, the more smaller fish they eat. And as you move up the food chain, the fish have more and more mercury. So I'm just wondering, if you ate a lot of tuna or a lot of salmon through the years, I would definitely be avoiding those bigger fishes. If you want some fish in your diet for the omega-3s, stick to sardines, which have the lowest amount. And your doctor may want to give you a chelating agent if is necessary. It just depends on how high it is. But you definitely want to lower your exposure and make sure you don't have any industrial exposure to mercury, which is pretty rare these days, but it can happen, especially if you're using a lot of those fluorescent bulbs in your house, the ones that screw into the light, the curved ones. You got to be careful disposing of those because they contain mercury, and people don't realize. Switching LED bulbs will also eliminate mercury from your home environment.
Wow.
Okay, cool.
Compact fluorescent lights. That's what I was trying to think of.
When I was younger, I used to we used to play with those bulbs and bash it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Lightsabers, right?
Hey, right, exactly. You did that too,
Yeah.
Todd? Probably a
Well,
bad idea.
I was an electrician. Well, I am an electrician, but when I was, I'm one of the first jobs was a Checker Auto Parts in Billings, and we had stacked up. We were changing out 155 of those fluorescent fixtures, and they each had 5 T8s in each, or 4 T8s in each fixture. We had them all laid up in the corner, stacked up. It was like 8 o'clock at night, and the UPS dude came through the door and he knocked over like 2,000 of them.
What?
And they all fell on the concrete, and it was the craziest white cloud of just that mercury and that dust in there. It just smoked the whole place. But yeah, it was crazy. That was what I was thinking. I was like, I wonder how much mercury I got.
I know, right?
Not good. Not good. You need a hazmat suit after that, Todd.
Sure, I remember that. Actually,
I heard if it happens nowadays, they will contaminate the whole place.
Yeah, because
So my work they would.
Yeah, because you remember when you were a kid and you would break those playing lightsabers, and that
Yeah.
powder, that white powder, would come out of them, float everywhere.
Amazing.
Crazy.
Yeah, right. It was amazing at the time when you
Yeah,
didn't know.
yeah.
I didn't know, So yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, this is Diana's question, and she says the time. So it seems I'm having a problem digesting the fat as well. I have not lost any weight. In fact, I've put on 3 pounds in this whole time. What do you recommend? Okay. Let's see.
How long has she been
Yeah.
carnivore? Is the first question that I'd have. And if you're having problems digesting the fat, I can see that being an issue. Our bodies do need to be adapted to that. So it's just going to take time, really, on that one. So what I would say is probably if your body's not handling the fats very well, some of us use some tricks like doing a certain supplements like lipase or ox bile to see if that can help. But Lindy, what have you done? And the question is, do you have a gallbladder? That's the other important part to know.
Yeah, I can't have a lot of fat. I just have to take it slowly. So sometimes, yeah, just start off slow and then gradually increase it over time, and it should hopefully fix that. But just some days I can't have any fat at all. Anything I have will just go straight through me, and then other days I'm okay. So I just have to. It's every day is a challenge, and I just have to go with how I'm feeling. Yeah.
Yep. How about you, Adek?
Yeah, I'm not gonna sound like a broken record, but go for solid fats, cold fats instead of the rendered ones. So butter, or let the tallow sit, or or don't drink the hot rendered fat. That will help too.
Yes.
Yeah.
It does help. Yeah, it does help. In fact, when I did that, when I avoided the melted fats and I swapped it for cold butter, it really did make a difference in how I was digesting the fat. And I was vegan for 6 years. So my body really forgot how to deal with those animal fats.
Yeah.
So it helps a lot. If you've put on 3 pounds in this whole time, I think maybe the time frame got cut off. Putting on 3 pounds is nothing. It's not a big deal. Let's just remove the shame and the fear around putting on weight, especially when it's just 3, 5, 6 pounds. And also, sometimes weight gain is necessary. Sometimes weight gain is a sign that you're healing, right, Dr. Phil?
Yeah, and I'm just glad that you're not called the steak and rendered fat gal.
That's a nice ring.
Dr. Phil. I know, right?
Have to be called the steak and disaster pants gal.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Awesome. Country girl, I'm trying to transition into carnivore diet, but eating takeout or going out to eat with my husband and friends makes it very difficult. Any suggestions? Perfect question with the holidays coming up.
Yes.
Toilet paper gang. I just saw that in the chat. If you're new to carnivore, welcome to the toilet paper gang. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Suggestions for eating out, socializing, wanting to make friends. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I have some comments. So first thing, I always find it's good to make sure I'm not starving when I go out with people.
Yes.
And second, my go-to when I go out is typically hamburger patties And I always make sure they don't cook them in seed oil. I always tell them I want one hamburger with no buns, no condiments, and can you give me an extra 4 patties? And I'll pay for them. And it's so funny that I've had restaurants not charge me for the additional patties because
Oh
they
my
said,
goodness.
oh, because you didn't eat the condiments and the
Yeah.
bun and the French fries and all the stuff that goes with it. We just gave you all the patties and we're comping the extra patties. So I've gone to
Which
places
restaurant was
with
this?
it's been all over. I've had it happen multiple times. My wife
Good.
just is amazed. But I can go buy a $20 cheeseburger and up it to 4 patties and hold everything else and end up getting 4 patties for $20, which is pretty cheap at a restaurant.
Definitely.
Great.
Great tip.
Yeah, I like the idea of eating it beforehand as well, and then just see what you can do during, and then I always make sure there's food when I come back home, because then during the occasion I'm not panicking or thinking am I eating enough, or I just know there are just like 2 or 6 lovely steaks waiting for me back home after an occasion.
Yeah, and I also, when I do social events over the holidays, I always volunteer to bring a charcuterie board.
Yes, nice.
And I make it with stuff I can eat and put some crackers on the side for all those non-carnivores. And it always gets all eaten. So people like it. It's amazing how many people like, the prosciutto and the salamis and all the good meats and aged cheeses and pork rinds and all that good stuff. And I make a cheese ball that has cream cheese, aged cheddar cheese, or Gouda, and bacon in it. And I roll it into a log and let it set out so it's real soft. And it usually gets gobbled up by people.
Nice. Let's all share our tips for surviving the holidays and eating out. How about you, Lindy?
Yeah, we go out often now. I like to get just a grilled fish, and it always comes with vegetables, and everyone on the table fights over my vegetables. So
Sure.
it doesn't go to waste. And if there's bread, like, it's always a bread roll. I take it home because we've got geese just up the road, and I feed the geese. So it's nice. It's just, at night time we stop at the corner of the road. I'll introduce you to my geese, Bella, when you come and visit, and we just feed the geese the bread.
Aww.
And so they're getting a feed. My family's happy because they get the extra vegetables and they like veggies, so that's fine. And I just have my fish. So it's nice and easy for me to eat with a lap band. I don't have to struggle with meat. So, yeah, it's good.
That's awesome.
Good one.
I love that. How about you, Adek?
Yeah, just at it. I just during occasion I don't really go out. I go to all you can eat when it's like the Brazilian restaurants. I just make sure, if every day ask what kind of restaurants we like to go, I always go like, let's go to, all you can eat meat restaurant. And usually they come and they say yes. So, but but then like I said, I make sure there's food waiting for me back home as well, so that I don't have any anxieties during the event. Yeah.
How about you, Todd?
I'm not a good person to answer this question because I've kind of sworn off the social side of eating because I like to I replaced all the social things with something different, like just different activities socially, because I don't like to relate food to being social anymore because I did that for too long, I think. So I don't really do that. When we have a company breakfast every Thursday with the guys, and I just sit and watch them eat. But I even bring a Pellegrino with me from home because I don't drink out of their plastic stuff there. And so it's a little antisocial. I get it, but I don't mind. It's worth it for me to stay on the track I want to be on. So I just don't partake at all. So.
I love it, being impeccable to yourself.
That's right. And Raymond.
Yeah, well, I did the same thing as Todd early on. I pretty much just was I don't want to say antisocial, but anytime around food, I would strangely, I would use that time to fast just to see how well I did. Early on, I always stuffed myself right before any meetings, but later on, I got strong enough where I could fast through any of it. And it was just fascinating to explore that in my mind. But now I'm going out quite a bit. So I'm very social now. So that's been a little bit different. I found, of course, eating before going out. The other thing I notice is that restaurants who have eggs, that's, like I'll get a steak and eggs, for example, and I'll add on like 6 other eggs to it, and they only charge you like $1 an egg. So I was like, what? That's awesome. So, I'm actually having a pretty decent, good full meal.
Yeah.
The only thing is, yes, just like Dr. Phil said, I mean, they will sneak in those seed oils. And so sometimes I'll feel it afterwards. So that's the downside. And you can't trust the wings, even though if it's baked on itself and all that.
Yeah.
It's just, unless you're strict about telling them you have an allergy, then they'll do that. But most of the time, I don't even go through that hassle because we're out with other people. So being out with other people, it's really, my wife doesn't want me to embarrass her by saying stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have some go-to restaurants that I'll just list out for our new carnivores here. In-N-Out, 100% carnivore. They don't cook in seed oils. I triple checked. Five Guys, also the same. They cook it in beef fat. McDonald's, they cook it in beef fat. And then for chicken wings, I don't know if you know this, Raymond, Buffalo Wild Wings, BWW.
Yeah, I know about that. Uh-huh.
Yeah, their chicken wings are cooked in beef fat, not seed oils.
What?
Oh, no, I didn't know that. That's cool.
They're plain ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. Okay,
That
let's keep
helps.
going.
All right.
Awesome. Hi, G. Interested in dry fasting, how to get started, and how long can you dry fast? Let's start with Raymond on this.
I'm going to keep it very simple. If you're interested in starting dry fast, the best way to start a dry fast is to find out when you go to bed, don't have any water near you. So you're not eating or drinking, and find out, can you do, let's say you're sleeping for 8 hours. Can you do 8 hours without drinking? Well, that's your first dry fast. Once you notice that, then you can extend it to say 10 hours, then 12. What's the longest dry fast I've done? I've done 3 days of dry fast. So, and the only reason I stayed there, because they tell you you'll die after 3 days of of not drinking or eating. And I just, I read all about it and I noticed, well, obviously some people are going 7 days and all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, oh, let me try 3 days. And it was amazing and effortless. I'm not encouraging this for anybody. This is something to adapt to. So be aware. I like the part where we naturally dry fast. And once we realize that, we're like, oh, there might be benefits there later on.
Todd, you dry fast. Talk about how you do it.
Yeah, for sure. I only intend to do it for 24 hours at a time, but I'll do 4 alternate day 24-hour dry fast because I'll fast for 7 days period on food. And I'll start with a 24-hour dry fast and then go to a 24-hour wet fast, and I'll end up doing 3 24-hour wet fasts and 4 24-hour dry fasts in that 7-day period. However, what I have noticed is my last few 7-day fasts, I tend to end up going about 48 hours on the 36 to 48 hours on the dry fast because they're just easier. To be honest with you, dry fasts are way more satiating and easier to get through your fast than wet fasts are. So I end up usually doing a couple of 48s and a 24 and like a 36 in that time. I actually drink very little in that 7 days, but once I did that and became more fat adept, it was way easier to fast once I got the hang of dry fasting, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I agree with Raymond. For me, it went naturally as well because I don't do like doing it on purpose, but I eat OMADs, and that's also the only time I drink, and the rest of the day I don't. It just came naturally not to drink anymore because I didn't even really need it throughout the day. So yeah, it's nice when it comes naturally.
Lindy, do you dry fast?
No, I don't dry fast, but I do sort of naturally. I don't drink through the night and that, and I don't drink a lot. Like one sort of small bottle will last me 3 days. So I don't know whether I just don't drink a lot in general. Never have.
I know, good. Nice.
And Dr. Phil, do you dry fast?
I do not, and I would be cautious for people that are diabetics with diabetic kidney disease because you could exacerbate that quite a bit. And people with chronic kidney disease, stage 2 or lower or greater, should also be cautious about that. And but it's generally safe in people with normal kidneys who aren't diabetic.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Let's keep going.
All right. This is kind of a shout out, I reckon.
Hi, Mike.
Okay.
Hello. I'm a Steak and Butter Gang
Glad you're
member
with
for 2 months. Yay.
I love
You're
it.
in there.
Awesome.
Good to see you here in the live stream. Thank you for joining.
Nice to see you here, Mike.
Last night I found myself snacking on cold butter. Nice. After 8 weeks on carnivore, is this a natural progression on the diet? Sounds pretty natural to me.
Yeah. To you, yeah.
I mean, I
No
started
bias.
carnivore snacking on it. Yeah.
No bias there at all, though.
No.
Maybe I shouldn't answer this one, but
Yes,
again,
you should.
your thoughts. Go ahead.
I think your body just needed more fat. And if you're snacking in the night, it's good because that will, keep your cortisol low so that you'll have a good buildup of melatonin.
That's right.
So go ahead and snack on that. That's a good snack for the night time. Definitely.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Lindy?
Yeah, I don't usually eat a lot of butter, but occasionally I do have I need to feel like some butter, so I'll have a few little cubes and I feel great. So I just go with how I feel on the day, and yeah, why not? I think it's just your body's telling you need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think also because every day is different, especially with our hormones going up and down. Our day will not be the same as yesterday. So maybe today you'll have more. You need more fats than you did yesterday, like you said in the beginning as well. So
So maybe he or she feels like it's not natural because it's butter, and butter at the end of the day is still minimally processed. It's a processed animal fat, as opposed to something like just a fatty ribeye or a fatty piece of flanken rib, right? I actually think there's a lot of benefits to eating cold butter as additional fat because it's so palatable. A lot of people who chronically undereat, they're not eating nearly enough fat. So eating something so palatable and so refreshing and cold, it's really helpful to make sure that you're eating enough. So I think it's great. Todd, did you ever snack on cold butter? I know that you can't tolerate it now.
Yeah, I did for a while, and it actually, because I love the taste of butter. I love butter in my eggs, and I did quite enjoy eating the cold butter. I just know that whatever, me and dairy, even in butter, do not get along. It makes me retain fluid, and it just it makes me slightly inflamed. So now I just do tallow, and then just ribeye, and yeah, I mean, I definitely, after eating the butter, though, it definitely opened up my appetite for more fat. My body was looking for more fat. And then, because before that, I kind of trimmed the fat tip off the ribeye steaks, because I get the primal cuts. I used to trim them off, and now those don't make it. Those are the first things to go. So I always take those down first.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. Let's keep going.
All right.
Awesome. NTV. When I eat a small treat containing sugar after being clean carnivore, I get the worst toe, foot, and calf cramps that can last from 30 minutes to half a night. Only sugar does this. So I think the question is what is going on maybe and how to stop it. Raymond?
God's being nice to you and telling you not to eat sugar.
Clear signal.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you're thinking about like, why are you so sensitive, and this could this be a bad thing, right? For my wife, when she went carnivore for like 2 months, that's what scared her the most, because when she realized that she's hurting when she has a little bit of amount, she was like, "There's no way I'm going to do this," and that scared her off. For me, this was a blessing because it told me I shouldn't be eating this. I mean, it was just that simple. Obviously, you can keep doing it and the pain will eventually go away, but you're going to have other pains that you don't even realize. And then ours is just going to mask it. And, and then it's just going to make worse pains later on down the road. So that's the way I saw it. I was like, that's not worth it. I just rather have a quality life, and I'm enjoying what I'm eating anyway. So it doesn't matter. So I don't want sugar. I don't need sugar.
Yeah. Who else wants to chime in?
Well, I just don't think it's abnormal to have any kind of symptoms after you have eliminated sugar, processed food, flour. All these foods are highly inflammatory, and when you go without them, you are reminded when you take them again that some may feel it in their joints, some may feel in their muscles, some may feel in their gut. And I think I'm with Raymond. I think that's a good reminder of what we've given up, and a good way to it's kind of a Clockwork Orange phenomenon that keeps us pure.
Yeah.
Wait,
Not
explain
going-
that. Explain the
Clockwork Orange was a book by someone Burgess. I'm blanking on his name, but it was a story about a future where they expose criminals to violence to the point that they get sick if they even think about violence.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They
cool,
called
yeah.
it ultraviolence. It was a play on ultraviolet, but it was made into a movie by Roman Polanski back in the 70s. It's very well known. Malcolm McDowell played the role, but the book was absolutely awesome. But it was a time where they put you in a chair, put retractors to keep your eyes open, and then showed you horrendous crimes all day for months. And then when they put you out in society, if you even thought of doing a crime, you would physically get sick. So.
Yeah, so that's how dangerous sugar is.
Yes. Ultra crime right there. That's it.
Ultra violence.
Jeez. Yeah. Great thoughts.
Anthony Burgess was the author. I just remember.
Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. Billy. Awesome. Billy says, my LDL is above 400 and my doctor wants to put me on statins. What are your LDL numbers? What to do and what to say to my doctor? Let's just go around the table first. What are our LDL numbers? Mine is 350. Yes. Dr. Phil?
282 and normal HDL and low triglyceride. And we're going to be doing a update on my health. So be looking for that video with Bella and Raymond and I, because I'm going to talk about when statins should be used versus when they're probably not necessary. So I think it'll be a good discussion. It'll probably be a month from now.
Okay.
I have no idea. I don't know.
So you've never checked your labs at all since you've gone carnivore?
No, I don't care at all. I feel amazing. I'm 310 pounds lighter. So I don't think I'd be alive today without it. So I just go, I don't care what the blood work tells me, because the blood work before was killing me. So I just didn't want it to change any of the things that I was doing that was working, because it was making me better. I will eventually go in and see just for fun. But after I talked to my cardiologist after losing 205 pounds at the time, and he told me he was worried about my diet, I'm like, all right, I'm done with this nonsense. I'm not partaking in this game anymore. So I haven't been back since.
Good for you, Todd. What's yours, Lindy?
Oh gosh, well, like Todd, I have no idea. I did do a blood panel, so go and check out Bella's video with Dr. Hampton. He went through my blood panel and he gave me gold stars. So that's all I care about. The numbers I don't really focus on, but doctors are all happy and that's all I care about. So yeah.
Good job. How about you, Raymond?
I've got one from a year ago. So we're looking at just LDL. Let me see. I figure I'll look it up. LDL was so I had a total cholesterol of 216. LDL was 162, so a little lower. Well, not lower, but good.
That's not as high as I expected. Cool.
Right.
Yeah,
and higher.
Yeah, and I wanted to go back and say my LDL was 80 before
wow.
carnivore, and went to 282 with carnivore.
Oh wow.
Wow.
And
Cool.
the question should be less about what your LDL is and whether or not you have known coronary artery disease or other vascular disease that indicates the statin, and your age. And these are the kind of things that you should do, risk versus benefits for your individual case. So again, we'll be talking about that in a couple weeks, and I think it'll come out in about a month or two.
Great. Adek, what's yours? Do you know?
Nope, I don't. I've never did any kind of blood work, not even when I was a vegan. The only thing they were worried about was my weight because I was, underweight. And the last time I went to the doctor, he said, "You look well." So thanks. So I'm done.
Blood works for sick people, and carnivores aren't sick.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. And just the second part of this question is what to do and say to the doctor regarding the statins. And Dr. Phil, if you don't mind just sharing your thoughts.
Well, have an honest conversation with your doctor about what your individual risk and the individual benefits of treating it with a statin, because they do have potential side effects. And there are tables based on your risk factors and your age and your pre-existing diseases such as metabolic syndrome or diabetes or known muscle disease, when there's actually what we call contraindications or reasons not to take a statin. And you should have a conversation with your doctor and put it back to your doctor to say, help me understand what am I gaining. And if the doctor says, well, it's just what you need to do, I don't accept that as an answer. Say, no, I'm really curious. And you send me some articles. And my cardiologist and I are always sending articles back and forth to each other.
Nice.
'Cause he thinks carnivore is crazy. And he's a vegetarian and he thinks
Oh.
everyone should be vegetarian. So it's a constant battle, but you have to stay strong and you've got to make your decision based on your individual risk factors. And
Yeah.
stay tuned. We'll talk about in the future.
Yes, we'll film a video. Go ahead,
I
Raymond.
want to ask something. So, Dr. Phil, I had it where my doctor said, "Hey, I believe that anywhere past 40, you need to be on a statin, very low dose statin." And he just told me blank out that I should be on a statin. It
No
doesn't
matter what.
Yeah,
No matter
yeah.
what. Have
Yeah,
you heard
my cardiologist is in that camp too. He has normal
Oh.
cholesterol and he takes a statin because they're so convinced that they're the best thing ever. And they kind of ignore the metabolic syndrome, diabetes, and muscle issues that they can develop. And I'm concerned long term about all these Americans suppressing their total cholesterols and their LDLs and how much we're seeing suicides and demyelinating diseases and the effect of the brain, and how much of that is diet and how much of that is over treating people. So I just am a firm believer that it comes down to individual risk, and you just need to, I call it turning your doctor into your partner instead of your parent.
Yeah, love that. Thank you for the question, Billy. And a question for everyone in the live stream. Does your doctor support your carnivore lifestyle? Yes or no? You can put it in the chat box or in the comments down below. Okay, this is from NTV. Why do I get so sleepy after a beef or lamb steak meal? I eat it with fat from the meat or with unsalted butter until I'm comfortably stuffed.
So you don't get sleepy after chicken and fish? Is that also so it's specifically beef and lamb?
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, those are hard to digest. For me, early on, I was like taking naps left and right. So I just took it as, you know what? I've done a lot of damage to my body, and I excused myself and I allowed myself, if I could, during work, I would just take like a little 10-minute nap, just sneak off some room, and just that's all I needed. And then I felt refreshed and I felt good, and I kept that as a consistency. You know, it's almost like my body needed, and this is my thinking, I don't know if it's real. It's almost like my body needed that rest period to digest properly. In an hour, it's just my leaky gut was an issue so much that I just didn't digest properly. So I felt like I just need to shut everything down just to process this thing properly.
Yeah.
I think there's times your body just needs to heal and take a break. And sleepiness is such a natural thing because sleep is so restorative to your body. And I don't know, the I don't necessarily see it as a bad thing. I see it as a good thing. But
Me too.
some people have conditions like sleep apnea that are undiagnosed. And the question is, are you sleeping well during the night? But personally, I think it's natural to eat a big meal and want to take a little break. I mean, we have whole societies that take siestas after lunch.
Yeah.
And it's considered the normal. So we Westerners tend to push ourselves a little
Definitely.
crazy.
Yeah.
And Dr. Kiltz talks about lions. They go out and have a big feed and they go and curl up and have a snooze afterwards. So it seems to be in the wild, that's what they do
So
too.
good, right?
Even my little dog used to go and eat and she'd go
Yeah.
pop in her bed and have a snooze. So
Yep. Same here, my cat.
we're
Mhm.
animals too, I guess, in a way.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, that's so interesting. With the sleep and the amount of sleep necessary, when I first started carnivore, I was sleeping at least 10 hours a day.
Mhm.
And yes, I recognize I have the luxury to be able to even afford to sleep for that long every night. I was in school, so what I ended up doing was I would take lots of naps and I would sleep really early so I can get up and go to school. And I absolutely felt sleepy and heavy and just overall tired and lethargic all the time. And it makes sense because I was healing. So I love that Dr. Phil stressed the fact that it's not necessarily a negative thing to feel sleepy after eating these nutrient dense meals. It could really be a sign of healing and that your body needs to rest and repair. So let that sink in too. It's not a bad thing. Todd, did you want to chime in?
Oh, I just totally agree. I totally think about sleep different now. I used to think that if something made you tired, that was a bad thing because that meant you was making you sick almost. Like I'd almost relate it to that. I felt like sick during the day, inhibiting work was a bad thing. And now it makes more sense to me because I just feel like when you eat, you put building blocks in and you have a bunch of guys that need to go to work and they can work more efficiently when you're sleeping, when you're resting and your body can heal and they're going to work, and that's how I look at it now. So when my body's hungry and also I need a little more sleep, I also I see all the composition changes and I see the health that comes out of it. And now I actually think it's a positive thing. So I look forward to that. And then that's offset by the days where sometimes I just only need 3 hours of sleep a night and I don't know why, but that's all I need. And I just figure my body's not healing at that time and it's fine with it. I don't look at sleep as a static number anymore. It's just, it's what your body needs at the time.
I love that you said that, Todd, because enjoy it now because later on you just don't need it anymore. And it's so upsetting, it's like
Too much energy sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. You wish you could just settle and actually, but so
I'm a little annoyed with this time change because right now I'm happen to not be sleeping a bunch because my body doesn't want it. Right. And with the time change, that means I'm going to wake up at 2:30 in the morning. And it's like,
when's the time change, Todd? Did we already miss
Sunday? No, it's Saturday night, Sunday
night.
Sunday morning.
Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, that's so interesting. So I agree. I sometimes eat a bigger meal at night just so I can put myself to sleep because I have so much energy. It's great.
Yeah.
It's I'm not complaining. It's wonderful.
No,
But go ahead.
No, I just said forget that rule. You have to wait like 3-4 hours before going to bed. Just eat before you eat.
That's what I did. I love that. I love stuffing myself right before going to bed. Yeah.
So very cool. How many hours of sleep do you guys need to feel optimal? How many hours? You can put it in the chat or in the comments. Let's keep going. Dapper Dave, thank you so much for the chat. What do you guys drink on a carnivore diet? Am I only limited to water and coffee?
Raymond, don't tell him the bad news.
Just not for me. That's all. Just not for me.
Yeah. How about this? This will help give Dapper Dave ideas. Let's all go around the room here and just list our drinks that we drink. So I drink water, black coffee, sparkling water. How about you, Dr. Phil?
I like just plain water most days. I do like San Pellegrino sparkling water, which I couldn't stand until I became carnivore.
Really?
And now And
That's
now it's
weird.
Yeah.
literally, we went to Italy and I tried it and I hated it. So
It's a good one.
that's a good one too.
Yeah.
I do
And occasionally, there you go, the Kirkland one, yeah, but that comes in plastic bottles.
Yeah,
so
I know. That's the only bad part. Yeah.
I'm really against drinking water from plastic bottles, so I just use what's filtered from my refrigerator.
Oh,
And occasionally, I will drink some iced tea, but and I do have coffee in the morning with my wife, and that's a social thing, but nothing in it.
perfect. How about you, Todd?
I'm a sparkling water junkie. So that's pretty much the closest thing I have to an addiction left. But yeah, I mean, I don't even drink hardly regular water anymore because I just really enjoy the sparkling water. But I
Yeah.
gave up caffeine and everything that came with it, the coffee, the tea, and all that stuff. And I felt fantastic since. I haven't had that in 23 months, and I don't miss it. And so I just stay away from it. So I pretty much just drink Topo Chicos, San Pellegrinos, Saratogas, all those, any sparkling water that comes in a glass bottle, basically.
Do you only do plain sparkling water, or do you have those with flavors too?
On occasion, I'll get them. I mean, honestly, it's because I order the plain ones, and then because I ordered for delivery most of my groceries, and Instacart they'll be out of them, so they'll bring me like a lime, like the twist of lime Topo Chicos or whatever. I won't turn them down, and I'll enjoy them when I have them, but I don't seek them out just because I don't want to flip on any of the stuff. But they don't give me any problems. I don't know what's in it. I really don't. I'm not sure where that flavor comes from, and it reminds me a little too much of soda, So, Coca-Cola, which was my big addiction, so I just stay away from it. And besides which, I really do love these things. Like I love sparkling water, and I'm reminded, Jordan Peterson. Let's see, Joe Rogan asked Jordan Peterson on Lion Diet. He goes, what do you drink? And he said, well, I drink water, I drink San Pellegrino, I drink Topo Chico. And he goes, so you drink water? He goes, no. When you're on a Lion Diet, every type matters. It's like a different category.
Absolutely. Thank you for bringing that up, because I want to talk about that. The other day you brought it up, I was just my eyes lit up because it's so true. And when I talk about it to normal people who are on a standard American diet, they think I'm just berserk. I'm nuts. Like, what are you talking about? Water is water. You don't taste the
No.
notes in water.
Absolutely.
I really do.
Sure.
Yeah.
Would you all? Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say for everything, right? Like to all my non-carnivore friends, they go, what do you eat? And I tell them, and they're like, so you eat beef and eggs? I'm like, no, I eat ribeyes, I eat pecan, I eat smoked ribeyes, I eat air fried ribeyes.
Whale eggs, duck eggs,
Yes,
goose
yes.
eggs, chicken eggs.
Exactly. They're all different, very different.
Right.
They are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, it's funny if they get to go, yeah, but you're so restricted because I get to have Pop-Tarts and I get to have Fruit Loops and I get to have steak. And it's like, you're eating sugar. Don't give me that crap. You're eating
Right. It's all sugar. That's it. You're right.
Yeah.
You could just categorize it as all sugar. That's
right.
it.
If you get to categorize all my steaks as just beef, then I get to categorize all your carbs as just poison,
Yeah.
True.
Pure sugar.
So
Yeah.
funny you said that. Yeah.
So I want to say on that point. So since I've been carnivore for so long, so I'll get into a stage where I'll just like water from my RO filter, and I'll put it in these containers instead. And then of course I'll get a phase where I'll just do sparkling water, and I'll get in a phase that I want warm water, not like and I don't want anything else. But I'll get in a phase I want really cold water with ice in it too.
Yes. Interesting.
So all of that keeps changing and flowing. Right now, I'm about to recently I kicked off. I just went back to sparkling water because I just was on a normal tap water, not tap water, but warm water stage. And then now I'm like, I really don't want the sparkling water as much either. So I'm thinking about going back again to the just normal water. So yes, it changes and it's wonderful, I think. But yeah, all of those waters are very different waters for me.
Yeah,
For sure.
How about you, Adek? What beverages do you drink?
Hot water. I've always drank hot water since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I think it's an Asian thing, so
Yes.
that's been in there.
It is.
When I go dancing, going out, I always ask for a cup of ice because it's so good. Just just chew on ice, and I dilute my decaf. So it's decaf, and I do dilute it with lots and lots of water. So yeah, that's
Awesome.
it. Yeah.
Love it. How about you, Lindy?
Yeah, I have the filtered water from my fridge as well. Summertime is coming. I do like a bit of bubbles in my water. So I've got the soda stream and I just do like a one spritzer. And for winter, I love a hot drink. And like I do occasionally have a coffee, not often, but I did get the bone broth powder. It's grass fed and there's no, or grass fed beef. So there's no nasties in it. And sometimes I'll just have like 2 spoons of that in my hot water and I add a bit of salt and a knob of butter and stir that up. And it's just really nice in the morning just to have that hot drink in placement of coffee.
That's the best way to start a morning, hot water.
Yeah,
instead of coffee.
extra collagen in it as well, which is really good. So yeah.
Yes, collagen.
Collagen. Yeah, collagen rocks.
Great ideas. Yeah. Dapper Dave, I'm sorry if that was a bit boring. We didn't really give it much hot water, cold water, sparkling water.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
I did
We're
think
gonna-
of one. Yeah. Drinkable yogurt is a wonderful drink.
Oh, they
Milk.
call that.
How about milk?
Yeah.
Or
Well,
milk,
that's
or
true.
milk, but
Kefir?
milk is a
Yeah.
little problematic for those
Okay,
who are
okay.
trying to
Right,
get off,
right,
sugar
right.
addiction still. But absolutely, for a lot of carnivores who are metabolically healthy, they can have milk. I personally don't drink milk though. I drink drinkable yogurt, and I do feel a
So-
difference.
They call that in Bulgarian arian, and I thought that was fascinating. They literally have a yogurt mixed with water, and that's what they have as their drinks. So it's funny you mentioned that.
Very cool. Yeah.
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 My
And
wife
for
showed me that.
for my Dutch fans, the yogurt drink in the supermarkets, that's all sugar alternatives and sugars. So it's not really a good choice. Just
You
letting guys
don't.
know.
So in Netherlands, you guys don't have like a kefir.
We do have kefir. Yeah, we have kefir, and supermarkets not as much. Where you have to, if you want to find raw kefir, you need to go out to the farmers. And but we have like a whole section of yogurt drinks, but they're all with always sugars or
Got it. Sounds like the States as well. We have tons of sugary drinks too. But can you just say that again? Drinkable yogurt in your language?
I love the way she
Dutch.
said it.
yogurt drink.
Wow. That's so awesome.
Yeah, watch it.
Thank you.
So
Thank you,
cool.
Dapper Dave. Let's keep going.
All right. So thank you so much, Gail, for the super sticker. But if you have a question, let me double check again to see if she hasn't done it this last few seconds.
I see it
Do you
right
see it?
here.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. Yay. Okay, Gil. So he or she says, discouraged by only 10.5 pounds of weight loss. I waited a month, felt like I lost only to have gained 1 to 2 pounds. I know we are not to focus on weight, but it is hard to do when you're almost 200 pounds to lose. Advice. Well, let's start with Lindy, then Todd, and then we'll all chime in. Go ahead, Lindy.
Yeah. What are you eating? I find dairy stalls me. It inflames me. I put on a lot of fluid. So dairy I have to stay away from. Yeah. Are you under eating? I'm always under eating, and that does stall me as well. And I can definitely put on weight there. So it sounds really counterproductive to eat more to lose weight, but it does actually work. So I do recommend priming. But there's probably a lot of other things that you need to think about. And I needed a coach to help me through that. So yeah. I think maybe best to speak to one of the coaches or
Oh, that's great.
you have more ideas.
Love your ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Todd.
Yeah, I mean, I agree in a way that I think there just needs to be a lot more information. Like, so when I was carnivore, I should say, I didn't lose hardly anything, I would plateau a lot. And then even when I was transitioning to carnivore, I mean, stupid things like black pepper were holding me back, and I didn't even know it because it was causing a crazy amount of inflammation. And then the inflammation would cause me to gain water. So then I would start doing stupid things like under eating or change the plan. Like really, you just have to be so consistent and patient for a while to get a really good baseline. And you really have to get everything under control. Like, it's so easy to misread labels. So it just depends on how clean you're eating, how simple you got it. And, if you're doing a bunch of seasonings or sauces or anything, or just, spices that could even be inflaming you. I was having problems with all those. It wasn't until I was literally eating just eggs, beef, salt, and water that I was able to finally get a baseline. And even then I had to prime because I was under eating and I stalled, even at that. So it wasn't until I started actually leaning into it and eating that things got a lot better. And then, it's just well, I'm going to be careful, but about when I read about those stupid shots that not the other one, but the ones that help you with your diabetes, that everybody's using to lose weight. When I read that when you're taking those, on a standard American calorie restrictive diet, they said you generally lose about 1/3 lean body mass and 2/3 fat, but on those drugs, you're losing like 2/3 lean body mass and 1/3 fat. And then I've personally experienced myself on carnivore losing weight but gaining muscle at the same time. And I love that parallel between all three of those, that you can gain muscle and lose fat on carnivore at the same time. And that is the to me, that should be like a weightlifter's dream.
Yeah, because in the bodybuilding world, they say you can't do that.
Right.
You can't do that at the same time.
Right. And I experienced it priming with Raymond. I experienced gaining 21 pounds and losing 3 shirt sizes. I watched myself do it. So that was clear what that was. And also I got taller. My posture was better just because everything was strengthening up and it was squaring my frame up. And it was crazy. So now I don't know, maybe you lost 20 pounds of fat in that 30 days and gain 10 pounds of lean mass. You don't really know right now because it's only 30 days is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'll say.
I was thinking, health comes first. And that's why we say, don't focus on the weight. It's because we want your body to be healthy, to be able to lose the weight. So that's why it's always second. So I'd love it if you just focus on getting your body healthy and strong, so that it will be able to lose the weight. So it will. We would love more information, like as like how long you're a carnivore as well, and stuff like that. Yeah.
So, Gail, feel free to share more details in the chat. We can absolutely circle back and continue helping. I did want everybody to chime in on this because it is quite a popular question. Is like, I'm discouraged because only this amount of pounds were lost, or because I gained weight. But I think all of us here can agree that that number is very deceiving. Why lean on a number to tell you everything about your progress? It's just not. It's not right. Raymond, go ahead first.
Yeah, I want to say I'm a little, I was in the same boat at first. A while back, I thought the weight on me was the problem. I had to lose weight, and that's probably why I feel so bad. My feet are bad. My energy levels are low. When I went into the carnivore diet, I did weigh myself obsessively at first. Technically, I'm actually 8 years doing this. But so the first year was so much failure. I don't even count it because I kept on, trying to keto and adding a little bit here and just falling all the time. But during that time, that's where I learned that scale was not doing me a favor. I lost the first 10 pounds, just like you did, off water weight. And I was so happy because I looked great. Right. And then it stalled and then I started gaining weight. And that was depressing. I was like, what's going on? But I couldn't deny that I was feeling so much better, right? So because of that, I was like, well, and as a really sick guy, I was just happy to feel better. So I said, well, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to keep going that route, even if my weight goes up. I actually had a kind of like a light bulb moment during that time and said, you know what? I'm going to see how big I can get on carnivore now. Because it's like, to me, I started equating that with feeling good. Well, what happened is I did get big. I stalled bigger, and then I stalled again. And there were times I got a little bit smaller, then back bigger again. And then eventually about, I don't know, 1.5 years, 2 years in, here pops like a 6-pack. And it's like, Obviously, I'm probably genetically designed to have six packs. So, because I've seen other people who tried so hard, I get it when I'm in like a 20 some percent body fat. I can have a six pack. So, that's why I say I'm probably genetically disposed that way. But saying that, that's not what I was after. That's the amazing part. But I still kept my weight. So my weight was still up there and I'm showing a six pack. And I'm like, okay, so does it really have to do with the weight scale at all? That's what I'm trying to say. My body composition just chiseled out and it looks great. So it was easy for me to trust the process because I was like eating this much and I'm looking great. And yeah, I exercised, but I really didn't try hard. So that was all secondary. For me, the most primary thing was getting the food down right. And everything else just fell in place. So I know that's my story. So, and I have tons of pictures along the way to see my ups and downs. So I look at them every now and then. I'm just amazed. I mean, it doesn't make sense, but that was what happened to me.
What is an R or RNY bypass, Phil?
It's called Roux-en-Y, and it's where they take out part of the intestine, take out the most of the stomach, and they reconnect it into a Y shape. So your gut's shorter, your stomach's smaller. It's kind of a classic gastric bypass that was done back in the 60s and 70s. Still some people do it today, but the lap band became more in vogue in the early 2000s. They have gastric sleeves. They have others, but it's a pretty extensive surgery. The Roux-en-Y is. But
I was just wondering.
it's
Do you think
actually.
I was
Go
going to
ahead.
say, could that be causing her to stall?
Okay.
Well, you always have issues when you've had a Roux-en-Y of not having as good as digestion available to you because you've totally rerouted the gastrointestinal tract, so it's not normal. So people can get vitamin deficiencies after a Roux-en-Y. They can get short gut and not be absorbing nutrients and lose a lot of weight, have a lot of diarrhea. So it's not typical that people with Roux-en-Ys gain weight. They tend to be on the other extreme. But I think we've all seen when people have a lot of healing to do, weight stalls are not unusual as your body's just trying to take in the nutrients. And perhaps Gail is under eating.
Yep. And Gail is not gaining weight. She is just losing a bit slower than she would like.
Yep.
So
Well, I was encouraged by the fact that she said she felt
Yeah.
like she lost weight,
yeah.
but she gained a half pound, which tells me her body is recomping.
Yeah.
But
Right.
when you have a Roux-en-Y, I'm not sure you can get by with 2 meals. If you really want to get nourished, you probably need to eat 4 or 5 meals a
Yeah.
day
Hmm.
for about a month and get yourself renourished and then cut back. But I have a feeling you're under eating, Cal.
Yeah, when I prime, because I have the lap band, I normally graze throughout the day. So I just have a little bowl of meat by my side. And if I'm working on the computer, I'll just sort of pop it in my mouth. So eating like 5 bites an hour or something like that, just to make sure that I'm getting nutrients in, because I cannot sit down and eat a whole steak. It just will not go in, and I end up throwing up, and then I can't eat for 6-7 hours after that. So yeah, it's not a pleasant. These surgeries were to cure us, to put us in a good place to lose the weight, and I still got to 800 pounds with a lap band. I mean,
Wow.
it's just stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now we suffer, but we can do carnivore. It just takes a little bit more effort.
It's differently as well. Yeah.
Yeah, just.
Yep, you adjust. Absolutely. Keep us posted, Gail. Juliet, thank you so much. She wants to know, what are the benefits of fat fasting for hormone balancing? That's a good question. We definitely do talk about fat fasting in the Steak and Butter Gang. Raymond talks about it. He has talked about it. What are your thoughts first?
Yeah, I have a plan in the Chisel program called Sizzle because of the fat. It's just cute. Anyways, yeah. So fat fasting has a lot of benefits for those who have issues fasting. I like a nourished fast personally, so I don't like pushing or white knuckling any fast. So sometimes a fat fast does come in handy, and you can use any types of fats, like if you don't have any problems with butter or tallow, but the littlest as possible. So you're simulating anywhere under 500 calories. That's what some literature says. Under 500 calories, you still maintain a sort of fast. It's not a real fast. It's a fat fast. It's a simulation of a fast. But the idea is to get your body used to being more in a fasting cycle. And eventually, the idea is to go into some types of fast. But early on, some people have a lot of issues just fasting in general, and they want to have another option because typically it's weight wise, right? They're like, hey, I want to try something else. So this is an option.
And what are benefits for hormonal balance?
For fat fasting specifically, just the fasting part alone, I believe on that. But Dr. Phil probably could fill in on that more. So as far as the science.
Well, I think it's just a aid to help you extend your fasting time because it does provide some satiety and something in you. So I don't think there's any magic in it. It's just a really good tool for people who are struggling, learn how to do nourished fasting, and then they can do the fat fasting as a bridge.
Yes.
To get them through a fast that they otherwise might white knuckle to.
Yeah. And I don't think, look, it's not the fat fast that is good for hormones. It's just your fats. The fats are just good for your hormones.
That's true.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I just always felt like the fat fast, if you needed the fat to fast and you weren't
You're not nourished enough.
Yeah, you're not
That's
nourished
fine,
enough.
do that.
So you should
good
keep
one.
eating and come back when you don't need a bridge, because the bridge is a bad sign that you're not nourished.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But usually I get people who are like, I don't really want to prime because of it. Sometimes it's all about weight. Well, then this is an option. So that's kind of why it's out there.
I get it. I get it, but I'll be, look, when I was 700 pounds, it was coming from that to coming to Raymond and him telling me I needed to eat more to lose weight. I thought he was insane. But the fact of the matter is I had to experience it myself to be a believer. And so I think with the fat fast, you're kind of, I don't know. I like the lesson that I had to learn myself, there, and so I would have kind of cheated myself out of that really powerful tool by fat fasting,
Great.
Well, I could think of some specific reasons where a fast would help. If you've got someone who has a really sick gallbladder and they want to be able to fast, but you don't want to lose the momentum of them rebuilding their gallbladder function.
Great point.
I think that would be a specific reason I would probably do a fat fast so that their gallbladder is still contracting multiple times during the day, even and allow them to fast, but still not have all this sludge hanging around the gallbladder all day. So that might be an exception, Todd, to consider.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So I wanted to one more thing for the fat fasting. I wanted you guys to chime in first, but I have tried fat fasting before under Raymond's supervision before, and I've also tried long-term just water fasting, the way Raymond recommends it, which is you do not lean on any salt, you do not lean on any bone broth, you just have the most honest fast. And I think for fat fasting, it's great for women who have already a lot of stress in their lives and who kind of have unbalanced, maybe a little bit wrecked hormones to begin with. And they do insist on fat fasting. However, when I hear about these women who come into the gang, they're looking to lose weight, but at the same time, their hormones are wrecked because they were vegan for 6-7+ years. We typically in the community will recommend that she does not do any fasting including
right.
fat fasting. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter how much you gorge on fat.
Right.
If you're fasting, you're not getting all the nutrients to first heal. So in my head, when I read that question, it's got to be one or the other. You cannot heal your hormones while fat fasting if you're already starting from a baseline of wrecked hormones and bad eating. So focus on hormone balancing by eating lots of meat, lots of fatty meat, lots of butter, and then you can try out the fat fasting gently when you're done with the balancing. Yeah. Great.
That's awesome.
Well said.
Thanks. So before I get to Sherry, good to see you, beautiful. I made you. Brett is in the chat, by the way. Who's your carnivore? Good to see
Oh,
you.
who's your
Welcome,
carnivore?
welcome.
Hey,
We missed
yeah, Brett,
you. We missed
good to see
you.
you. Yeah.
I made you moderator. He says that he wants to be moderator to help out with the trolls. Trolls
Oh.
are cute. I love trolls. We don't have to remove them.
That's right.
We love them.
They're
If
a
you
little
guys-
good for the algorithm pets.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right. That's right.
100%. Like whenever I see trolls or whenever I see people who are so against carnivore and that they're here just to do whatever they love to do, it means that carnivore is gaining more traction. This is a good thing,
Yes.
guys. Let's be nice. If it's that big of a deal and you don't want to see those messages, you can
Yeah.
remove on your own, but we don't need to. Let's keep them. Okay.
For sure.
Good. Sherry, Bella, did you feel better when you did all beef for those few months versus with adding in eggs and lamb? Thank you and big hugs. Hugs to you too. So she must have followed me for years because it was year 2. Do you remember, Adek? Yeah, where I did beef.
I just started when you were on the beef, and you told me just stop the eggs because I wanted to do it. Just do it.
Yeah. I did beef only because I was so inspired. And this is like 4 or 5 years ago. Not nearly as big of a carnivore community 4 or 5 years ago. So every single modality that was out there was like you could clearly see all the different types of people trying these very different modalities. I personally loved it because one of my favorite things to do is cut one food out, add in a new food, and just focus on how it makes me feel. How are my cycles when I do that? How are my digestion, sleep, energy levels? All of the above I like to observe. So when I did beef only, I think the biggest thing that I noticed, my skin was very, very clear. It was like almost to the point where I just had this amazing glow almost. I mean, I still have it now, but I still look back at my progress photos back then. It was incredibly clear at that phase, I would say. And I was very, very obsessed with healing my skin. And that definitely helped with my skin. Just the clearness, the texture of my skin was so smooth when I did beef only. How about you, Adek?
Oh, that just felt good. I just the energy and actually because it was also because of priming, and after that I went to beef only, and I think that also helped me just stay away from my addiction that I had, that chewing and spitting. It was just so fulfilling to just have the beef and just focus on the beef. So that was more my reason to do it, because if I had too many variations, it felt like there's just too much. It just triggered to me, and it made it very simple for me to just have just beef and eggs, and that was it. I didn't have to think about anything about food anymore, and that's, for me, it was more mental thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, I did start looking good.
That does help.
Yeah, no, I do see a lot of people who have the weight stall and then they do beef only or lion diet, and then it does absolutely break that stall. So it could be a little reset period for those who have that goal. Anybody else here tried a beef only?
I did a ribeye only, if that counts, for 8 months.
Of course.
So I bet that first 2 weeks was brutal. It was
Really?
terrible. And then by that month, it just started getting, all of these things started getting better and better and better. And bet this is very hard to go out. And I didn't go out at all during that 8 months. So wait, I take that back. I went to all you can eat, and they did have these little ribeye slices, and I did eat just that. But yeah, it was wonderful. And I have to admit, it is a great reset portion. And I've always wanted to do that. It was no salt. I did it just like the Andersons. Charlene and Joe Anderson. So I just wanted to feel it. So that's why I did it for 8 months. I could have kept on, but the pressures of daddyhood kind of set me aside. So
Awesome.
Yeah, I did beef only for 3 months, but I actually that was when I found out the eggs for my testosterone made too much of a difference and I couldn't give them up. I did make a compromise when I went back on though, and I just started doing egg yolks only, and that made a difference. Getting rid of the whites made quite a bit of a difference.
Yeah, I'm the same with you, Todd. Beef and eggs.
Yep.
Yolks.
It's pretty much all I eat.
Keep it simple. Hope that helps, Sherry. Taco Cat, thank you so much.
I love that name.
Cat Entertainment. Very cool. Yo, your videos have helped me a lot with my carnivore journey, Bella. You're truly doing God's work, spreading all this info. This really warms my heart. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I keep posting videos because I see comments like these and sweet messages in my DMs and emails like these. So it gives me a lot of motivation to keep putting in the work. So thank you. Love you.
All right.
Oh, hi, Sherry again. For Dr. Phil. How would you use carnivore to manage
thrombocytopenia with petechiae?
Wow.
That was like a different language.
That's exactly what I was
every
gonna
day,
say.
Dr. Phil.
It just read out just like it.
Okay, so thrombocytopenia means low platelet count, and petechiae are little pinpoint hemorrhages you get in your skin when your platelets are either low or not functioning well. And I would say, most thrombocytopenias are due to some type of inflammatory reaction going on in your body. So I think carnivore is the ultimate anti-inflammatory way of eating. It's mostly been studied as ketogenic diets, but carnivore is nothing more than the ultimate extreme ketogenic diet because it's taken the carb levels down from less to 20 to probably down to 2 or less. And I don't know what the cause of your thrombocytopenia is. Some people are taking heparin analogs and getting it from blood thinners. Can do it. Post-viral syndromes can do it. There are some leukemias that do it. I assume you don't have that. And there's bone marrow issues. But I would think that regardless of the cause, that carnivore will not hurt it, and it may, in fact, help to heal it. So that would be what I would say, Sherry.
Thank you, Dr. Phil. Very helpful. Yeah.
So if she ate some bone marrow, that might help. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. You're trying to stimulate your own bone marrow. And the theory there, Raymond, would be, I think it's very intuitive that if you eat external bone marrow, you're going to get all the nutrients that bone marrow needs. So I don't think that's a bad suggestion. I think that's pretty clever because blood components are all in bone marrow. So that would make sense. Great idea.
I love bone marrow.
I'd love if we could study these things, but nobody wants to pay for the research of eating meat.
I'll be a guinea pig.
We probably just got a hard strike on YouTube for you suggesting that we use.
Yeah, for you suggesting that. Yeah, right.
No, we're not going to get a hard strike for eating meat.
Now you're saying the word research. Oops.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Sherry. Keep us posted.
Thank you. Here we go.
Hi, Mackenzie. So she says, I've been full carnivore for almost 2 months. I've noticed that I have gained weight in my stomach and legs. Should I try fasting? I'm eating twice a day, 2 pounds ground beef, 8 eggs, and butter. Before we answer this one, I did want to just quickly share our next challenge. The November challenge in the Steak and Butter Gang is starting tomorrow. So there's a really wonderful time to just drop that link only for anyone who actually needs the support. Okay. You guys don't have to join it. If you're struggling and you would like some guidance, maybe some direction, and if you feel lonely in doing all of this, it feels very different from just watching somebody on a live stream screen. It really does, because you can actually interact with real people, with all of these people right here, talk to them and get the help in real time. Todd, did you want to talk about how maybe community or the gang helps?
Oh, yeah, exactly. I was going to say, I disagree. I do think you have to join. I think you should definitely join. Well, seriously, like, you know, everything's built against you right now. You know, I'm speaking from my own experience, but when I'm not on YouTube or with these people and the SBG gang, then I'm out there in the crazy world that says that everything I'm doing is wrong. And I even when they know where I came from and where I am now, even when they know I'm down 310 pounds, they still tell me, yeah, but what about this? What about that? And they think you're crazy. So you got to balance that out a little bit. That's why I got to stay sane and to stay on the right course. Yeah, I have to realize that out there, everybody's a bunch of drug addicts and they just don't know it.
Right.
They're all hooked on a drug called sugar and you know, the standard American diet. And I mean, it's all junkie talk out there. I need to be with my community to remind myself when I'm doing this, just like, you know, I mean, that's like, you know, AA stuff 101. You got to get rid of your old friends and the old habits and the things that were pulling you back to that. Well, that's everything out there. If you don't try to balance it out with a community that's going to help in as much as you can to pull you in the right direction, it's going to be really tough for you. And that's why I started, when we do a call on Saturday on Iron Sharpens Iron, I started telling everybody to come over here because people were DMing me and I was trying to help them on the side. But 1 hour talking to me during the week and 167 hours of talking to everybody else during the week, and they were off by the time I talked to them the next week. They're like, I was doing good for 12 hours, and they would say how they fell off, and then, well, what do you say to people when they say this? I'm like, don't talk to those people because they're junkies. They're junkies. They're gonna have an endless excuse. Just get in here, get strong first, and get free, and then go out and deal with those people. So yeah, I think you 100% need community, and I think it should be right there on your top priority list, along with buying beef. You know, to start carnivore, you need the steak and butter gang. I really believe that.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. Strong words. Anybody else want to chime in on that?
Okay. I've always wanted to do things alone so that I can lose the weight by myself, and obviously I didn't succeed there. And yeah, joining the community, I was very shy, had camera off. I didn't want to be having my face out there for the whole of the community to see. So for probably 2 or 3 good months, I didn't have my camera turned on, and I would just lurk. I'd listen to everybody, totally inspired by all the beautiful NSV calls were my favorite, just listening to everyone's, just how, you know, grandmothers that had the walking frames and they'd throw them out and they're sitting on the floor playing with their grandkids, things like that. And it was just so heartwarming. I was just like, I need to be like this. I want to be here for my daughters. I want to have grandkids and be that cool, funky grandma pushing the kids on the swing and doing all the nice things. That gave me motivation to keep on track. So you don't hear about that in the real world. They just say, you know, don't eat that, or, you know, or they look at me, they see I'm depressed. Oh, look, you know, have this because it'll make you feel better. One's not going to hurt, but they don't know when they leave I'm going to finish the whole pack because I'm so depressed. You know, it's a vicious cycle, and community helped me break that. So
That's amazing. Yeah, it's all these real life stories. You get so much of it in there. Join the family. It's linked in the live chat and in the description box. Okay, back to Mackenzie's question. She's gaining weight in her stomach and legs. So should she combat that to try fasting, Raymond?
Actually, I think you should try 3 meals a day. That would be my answer to what's going on right now. And, you know, I want to say this is the season to do that, because around this time, Halloween's already gone through and a lot of people already went a bunch of candy and probably already gaining weight. And Christmas is coming and a lot of people are junking on sugars and gaining weight. And what I'm going to say is go ahead and take advantage of that and say, hey, it's okay for me to gain and eat more of the proper foods. And then we can actually heal and eventually get that weight off on its own. But you're going to get all kinds of benefits. The only time that I would say it's a great time to fast is when you're tired of eating so much. Then it's
Yep.
a great time to fast.
Yeah.
Yes. So don't fast is the answer. Like, we actually do not recommend that for anyone who is watching this and feeling like they're gaining weight. Don't do the fasting. Don't start restricting. Do the opposite. Just try it. I know it sounds crazy and opposite of what you think you should be doing. Just give it a try. Come back next week. Update us on what happens right here in the live stream. We have these every single week. So try it. Great. Let's keep
All
going.
right.
Hi, Amy. Okay, so she says, can I get well eating mostly fish? I have an autoimmune disease and I do not tolerate much meat. Well, I eat about 2 ounces of ruminant meat a day and 4 pounds of fish. Wow. Okay.
That's nice.
Yeah, she doesn't tolerate much meat well.
Yeah, but she's still eating it anyway, so that's good. But
Mhm.
yeah, we have carnivores just eat chicken and fish. Isn't that like feathers and fins?
Yeah,
And they
feathers
do
and
well.
fins, or they say seal. What was that you said, Todd?
Sea
Yeah,
lion.
sea lion
Sea
diet,
lion.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
sea lion.
cool. Sea
Yeah.
lion diet. I like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, answer
Yeah.
is
Of course. Nothing
absolutely.
wrong with that. Yeah.
You can absolutely do that. Dr.
Believe it or not. Oops,
Yeah.
sorry.
No,
I
go
just
ahead.
was going to say real quick. I go through phases, right? I
Mm.
mean, I'll do ribeye only for the longest time, and then I'll just do like, oh man, I just want a lot of fish. So I just follow that. So I mean, lately I'm still on my fish kick. So I actually tried sardines recently. I actually liked it. I couldn't believe that. But anyways, yeah. So there are times for certain different types of carnivores if you want.
For sure, but like Amy, she doesn't tolerate. I'm guessing red meat. Well, is what she meant. Red meat.
Red meat. Well, okay,
Yeah,
I
not
see.
just any meat. Red meat,
And
which is
you
why
might
she
be
eats a
able
lot
to
of
tolerate.
fish.
You might be able to tolerate it later. You know,
Mhm.
when the
Give it some time. Yeah,
Give it some
definitely
time.
give it some time.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Let's keep going. Stereo. Aside from water, okay, we already did answer this. Let's keep going.
Oh, you must put it in there twice. There.
no, it's okay.
Dennis, I've been on carnivore for about 3 weeks and the arthritis pain in my joints is going away. Congratulations. That's great. On my runs and workouts, I am having very low energy and I'm wondering, will this go away once I'm fat adapted? Raymond?
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, as the deck was going to say, yes. Well, for me, I did have a lot of low energy, and then I'll get energy. So it kind of ebbed and flowed depending on what was going on in my life, and I don't know why. There are sometimes I had no energy, and then sometimes I had total abundant energy. Then it started really stabling out. You know, it just got more and more stable. Was that your experience too early on, Adek? Did you ever have low energy, or was it all go on?
No, I actually looked at my sleep because in the beginning, yes, I slept a lot. So then I would say I had a lot of low energy, definitely. But I had a lot of healing to do. So
did I.
I wasn't looking at the energy thing. I was really looking at how many hours of sleep. I slept 12 hours and stuff in the beginning. But I did feel like, you know, that I wanted to work out. Like I said before, I didn't. I was in a meeting before this in the gang. That at some point your body wants to work out because then you know it wants to move. So I think that's when you know you're getting fat adapted and is using the fat to as energy source. And these days, I like today. I fasted yesterday. It was an accidental fast, and I just worked out a leg day today. It was well. It just went well. I was so surprised. So you will go away when you're fat adapted. Yeah.
I want to say mine was so bad that I looked up why is my energy low, and I ran into this Dr. Ben Bickman, and he was talking about glucagon resistance. And I was like, oh, so there's more than just insulin resistance. There's a glucagon resistance. And I was like, and it really spoke to me when he was talking about it. It's just, and there may be some other things I don't understand, but I don't know if I understand the glucagon thing. But when he was saying it, I was like, oh, that's got to be it. But it might not have been. So Dr. Phil could correct me on that.
I'm not going to touch that. I've heard him say that too, and I think it's just theoretical. But
Okay.
we have a lot more problems with insulin resistance than we do with
Yes.
glucagon resistance.
Yeah, I'll do that then. Yeah.
I think we should focus on the 90% and not the 1%.
Yeah.
I think, well, I won't say it.
I want to hear it for sure.
Yeah, later.
I was just thinking, this is where I hear Phil's voice in my head saying, people have the right to say stupid things.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that at all. I just
I hope he's not watching.
I read it in your smile.
I have Dr. Bickman's book. I've read it. I really appreciate his work. He's brilliant. And it's Why We Get Sick is the name of his book. And I would promote it. He's a brilliant guy.
Mhm,
It's just
mhm.
in the carnivore community, everyone's always looking for the
A reason.
I hate to say it, but the excuse of the day, or do I have this disease of the day? Because we're all so unique. And if anything, we are biologically unique. And we have to be open-minded, but we also, there's an old thing they teach in med school, which is if you hear hoofbeats out your window and you don't live in Africa, don't jump to it being a zebra first. It's probably a horse, right? Now, if you live on the Serengeti, maybe it would be a zebra, but we have to stay with the most common things. But honestly, in a community of thousands of people like Steak and Butter Gang, we see some really weird outlier things that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to minimize those, but for most people, they need to focus on the majors and try the major solutions first.
Agreed.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Let's keep going to Keith. Do you know about the tick that causes you to have meat allergies? Alpha-gal, right? That's what it's called? Yeah. I actually, speaking of the gang and all of the members who come in, we actually absolutely have seen it all different types of cases. I still remember to this day, one of our members, when I first opened that community, she came to us saying, guys, I'm freaking out. For some reason, I'm not able to eat beef. All of a sudden, I just can't. I'm having like a reaction to it. And we boiled it down to she really did have the alpha-gal allergy. She caught it from a tick. And that was the first time I even discovered of something like that, was in the gang from one of the members. So now I'll pass it off to Dr. Phil. How do you get it? Is there a way to reverse it?
Well, it's most common in Texas, I guess. And I think if I got bit by that tick, I don't know what I'd do. Today I had four ribeyes and 2 grass-fed patties. I mean,
Send them to me.
what
Dr.
would I do? What would I do? That would be my. So it's so interesting. Since I've gone carnivore, I don't get bit by ticks. I don't get bit by no-see-ums in Florida, and I don't get bit by mosquitoes. And it's so bizarre. And I think it's the attractiveness of our skin when we're on a sad diet that we're actually attracting all this stuff. So I would go carnivore just to not get bit by the beef aversion tick, right?
There you go.
Well, what did that we had this, there's a big discussion about this in our chat the other week, Lindy. And what did they say that, because you have that in Australia too, and it's a big thing, because you said by Sydney or something?
Oh, yeah, it wasn't in Melbourne that I heard. Yeah, I'd never heard of it here. So I thought it was a US thing as well. And I just had to laugh when your face when you mentioned Texas. If you had known, you probably wouldn't have gone to Texas.
I would. I just told Lindy that she has some of the worst things in Australia, because every time I hear something, I'm like, why do you live there? And I'm supposed to go visit her. And then I made that, and she always tells me, well, that's not here though. That's not in Melbourne. That's all she ever says. And I'm like, well, I don't believe you anymore, because apparently there's nothing dangerous. But what was crazy was they said that the tick in, am I getting this backwards, Lindy? But the tick in Texas is not permanent, but the one in Australia is, right?
Yeah, apparently, but I'd never heard of the tick here in Australia. So I think someone from Perth mentioned that.
Mm.
Yeah, so I don't know. I haven't really researched it. I'm not worried about it.
So someone in the chat said it's the Lone Star tick, and that's the name I know it by.
Yeah, that's the one. I like.
Oh,
Yeah, Lone
okay.
Star.
And that's
Yeah.
why
Because
I
it's from
always
Texas.
because it's the Lone Star State. So
No, actually, Charlie said that that's not true because this came up. Charlie said it's called the Lone Star tick, but it actually originated someplace else. But I think it was because he said that tick has a very distinctive star on its back.
Yeah.
Ah, right. The look
Yeah.
on it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
well, all I can say is that Texas would be one of the worst places to have a beef aversion.
I know.
From-
Well, that person went ahead and stayed carnivore and just did this. The fins. What was that one you called a deck?
Feathers and fins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
feathers and fins.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what she did.
She did well.
She did well. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Wait, Charlie, can you let us know since you're in the chat? Is it reversible? I'm actually very curious. Let's keep going.
Yeah. All right.
Hi, Thumper. Does anyone sous vide their steak and meats? I recently started, and it's unbelievable how good a steak tastes sous vide. Yeah, I've tried it.
Oh, you have? Oh, no.
I have. In fact, I tried it at Dr. Baker's home. He had us for dinner, and he was like so sweet. He did a grill meat, and then he had a sous vide meat for us to try. He had like a little sampler platter because I think he does not know how much I eat. That was less than an appetizer for
You
me.
said it's a sampler. It was his whole main meal, you mean?
Yeah.
I went home after that dinner and I was like, okay, I'm hungry that I started. That was
Right.
air. But no,
So-
that was so nice.
So did
So good.
did he sear? Did he sear the sous vide steak? Because he has
did.
that thermonuclear oven that's like what
Right, he
1700
has the
degrees
cinder.
or something.
I think it's called a cinder grill or something like that. He puts it
Okay.
outside on his deck and he did sear that. So he did the sous vide first and then he
Yeah.
threw it in his grill.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful.
Does.
Sous vide is such a good tenderizing technique.
That's
Yeah.
a fact.
Oh, you have
Very
one?
Oh yeah, they're awesome.
Ooh, Dr. Nelson's here. I met him at KetoCon.
Yeah.
Dr.
Hey,
Nelson.
Dr. Nelson.
Hey.
Thanks
Hi,
for
Dr.
popping in.
Nelson. Yes, I remember him at Texas. Awesome.
Yeah,
Welcome.
Texas.
Welcome.
But yeah, sous vide is awesome. The sous vide brisket, if you've never tried it, cold smoke a brisket for 6 hours, then sous vide it for 84 hours, and then pull it out of the sous vide and then finish it off with a torch. So I use like a weed burner. Man, those are good. They're the
Really?
best.
The torch? Wow.
Yeah, weed
a
burner.
weed-
Yeah,
I love
Torch on
that.
Torch on a stick.
torch on a
Heck,
stick.
Freaking yeah, that sounds so cool.
They are so
Sign me up.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are my favorite brisket ever. I
Wow.
mean, whew, man, those are good.
What do you mean by cold smoke?
So cold smoke, like on the pellets grills, there's a setting for it, but like in the old days, they would cold smoke they'd have the burner on the right hand side. They would usually put a burn box, then they'd pipe out of the burn box and they would go underground with the smoke so that the smoke would cool through the ground, and then it would come up in the smoke box so that the smoke would be cooled to the temperature of the earth. So that it wouldn't cook it, it would just smoke it. It would just it's kind of like a marinade of smoke. And it's super good. It dries it out a little bit, so it'll take the good Maillard effect. But you kind of lose that after you sous vide it because then it sweats out the fat and it gets damp again. But that's why when you take it back out, you have a huge smoke ring in there still. You take it back out, and then all the juice that comes out of it too now has a really good smoke in it too. So you can make like a really good smoky au jus. And then I put it out on a rack and I hit it with the weed burner to sear the outside of it, and it is delicious.
Wow.
Wow.
84 hours of sous vide though. I don't think I could wait that long.
I know.
Makes the
I
house
know that's the
smell
problem.
awesome.
It takes too long.
Yeah.
Makes the house smell awesome. And you do have to, I had to get these stainless steel chain link deals that sit over big pieces of meat or else they'll start to float, and it weighs them down. So, and they're stainless steel so they don't rust, but it's amazing. It's really good.
Wow.
Huh.
Very cool. Okay. Will eating lots of butter eventually train my body not to get inflammation from it? I personally would not push your body to keep, tolerating the butter if you're already getting inflammation symptoms. For example, runny nose, itchy skin, itchy eyes, or indigestion, gas, bloat. This could all be signs that you're not digesting it properly. What you can try is find raw unpasteurized butter. That actually makes a very big difference. If you insist on sticking with butter, go to realmilk.com, REAL milk.com, and find raw butter near you. That's my best tip. Next.
I have a little update from Charlie on the Lone Star tick.
Okay.
Great. Okay,
Most
so
people-
go ahead.
Oh yeah, most people recover within a few months. Some have had it bad and are advised never to try
I know.
ruminant meat again.
Ah, terrible.
Wow.
It's heartbreaking.
So just bad advice there, but they probably could try it because it
Yeah,
does
just try it
recover.
once in a
Yeah,
while
just
to
try it
see.
once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Mhm.
All right, I'll go back to that. I just wanted to put Charlie's update in there.
Perfect.
He also has a comment about it's found in eastern, southeastern, and south central United States
Hmm.
as of May 15th of 2024.
Okay.
Hmm.
So
Wow.
not just Texas.
Yeah.
Hmm. We're gonna have to. I'm surprised Texas let it live.
So this is LD. Hello. I travel full time in my RV and I'm unable to make my own bone broth. Is there a clean product I can purchase, possibly a power for that I can powder. Okay.
Powder.
For that I can
Powder.
purchase. Yeah.
The
Any
bone broth I use is that I think it's Nutrivena or something. I do have a link, an affiliate link on my channel. Yeah, I couldn't tell you off. I haven't used it before, but yeah, I do have it. So I'll try and
It's a
find that
powder
link.
form, Lindy?
It's powder. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I have for breakfast
Does it have
normally.
the fat in it? Do you know?
I add a bit of tallow or
Oh,
sometimes
you do?
butter in mine, and I add salt because it is a little bit bland, but it's from grass-fed beef or cows, and there's no nasties in it. It's actually quite nice if you
Nice.
add the extras in it. But yeah, and it's got extra collagen in it too.
Cool.
I'll just find a link
That's
and
nice.
post it.
Okay. I like the brand called Bonafide, Bonafide. And you can only find it in the freezer section because it's always sold frozen. That is by far the highest quality one that I've found, if you want to check that out. Okay. Great.
You enjoy bone broth every now and then, Bella?
Every now and then, because I really don't like drinking my food. I know that bone broth isn't really considered food. It's more of like a soup. But even then, I feel very stingy about what I fill up my stomach with. If it's going to be filled up, I want it to be the most nutrient dense foods.
Yeah. Yay.
Same.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
So Bella, just a time check. We're coming up on 2 hours.
Thank you, Dr. Phil. Well, I think I'll do maybe like a couple more questions, handful more questions, and then we'll wrap up for tonight, and then we'll do it again next week. Okay. So for our new live stream watchers, we do these every single Friday evening. So keep us posted. Bring your questions, your struggles, victories, updates. We love to hear it in the chat. Great.
Absolutely.
Hi, Debbie. I joined the Steak and Butter Gang in October, and yay, welcome. And major life situations happened. I was not able to do the priming the way it should be done. Can I go on to the second month and just have it on the back burner? Raymond?
Of course, definitely. I actually encourage that, especially if you had a situation not go the right way and perhaps you're not eating enough. Start with us in November. We're going to start tomorrow.
Yes,
All
we
right.
are. Yep. So, well,
I want to be clear on this one though.
sure.
Is she saying jumping to the second level?
Yeah, that's what she's
That's what
saying.
I was trying
Oh, is that what she's saying?
Yeah.
Oh,
So like level 2.
Go back into the priming. I'm sorry. I thought she meant second another month of steak and butter again. Yeah, not level 2.
Yeah.
Go back to level 1. Thank you, Dr. Phil, for catching that.
If you weren't able to properly do priming, we suggest that you tackle priming properly on that second month for everyone.
Yeah.
So important. So important.
Yes. See you in there, Debbie. Tomorrow we start.
Yay.
Okay, this one is from NTV. Why? When I eat a small treat containing sugar after being clean carnivore. Oh, didn't we
Oh, we
ask this?
already did this.
Yeah.
We did this.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
No
We did
worries.
this.
No worries. Yep. We asked this one too.
Yeah, we asked this one.
Yeah,
What's
did this
going on
one
with
too.
these?
I think he repeats his question. He or she repeats the questions.
Okay.
Astrida, welcome. When I eat only meat and fat, my GERD gets worse and I'm very uncomfortable. I added carbs and I do not experience it. Okay. What could be the problem? I've been on carnivore for about 2 months. Anybody here struggle with GERD when they went carnivore?
No, well, actually, mine went away, but just to let you know, I think it may be a stomach acid deficiency. So, because if you add carbs don't take much to process, so and meat does, and that's what I'm thinking was. So eventually, my body did create enough stomach acid where it could tolerate it, but every now and then, and I just tried this recently just for the kicks of it. I added some betaine hydrochloride, and that does get my digestion going because I'm eating a lot. So that's helping me digest a little bit better too. Again, I have diverticulitis, so I usually have, I mean, I don't have the flare-ups or anything like that, but it's healed quite a bit. But I do prefer it when I digest better.
Okay. I just want to tell you, don't give up, because usually these symptoms just become worse and then they'll go away because it is tackling your issue right now. So I've heard so many people say this thing, I got GERD and it's because of carnivore. No, it's carnivore is actually tackling it right now and healing it. So keep on going.
Great.
Yeah, and I would wonder if someone with GERD might eat more eggs and more what I call high carb protein sources like shellfish, crab,
good one.
shrimp, and see if you can get the protein and fat in and recondition your stomach, because everything that Coach Raymond and Dex said is absolutely true. This will go away, but the longer you keep feeding it with non-meat carbs, the longer it's going to take to get over it. And so I'm thinking higher carb meats, and eggs and shellfish are both what I call high carb meats. And that might be a hack that we've never recommended before, but I'm just thinking from a physiologic standpoint, that might really work.
It's a good point, because when I first started, I was just bacon and eggs all day long.
Oh, really?
Because first of all, I didn't like and some ground beef, and then later on, about 3 months later, I graduated to the steaks, and that's probably why my GERD really started going away. But then it started coming back when I started fasting, weirdly enough. So, and then, but anyways, that's a different story. So it was on and off for a little while.
Okay.
All right. Oh, there we go.
Thank you.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
From New Zealand.
Thank you so much. Do you have a question, Rebecca? I do not see it in here right now, but I'm famous for not seeing it. I seem to have blindness.
I don't see it either.
You're seeing colors.
But thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if you have a question, we'll circle back to you. Just put it in the chat, live chat. Yep. Type it out.
All right.
Great. Will, thoughts about histamine production in meat that is not consumed immediately? Is it a thing? For those with potential histamine intolerance, this would suggest a lot more preparation and cooking. Yeah, for sure. So histamine intolerance is definitely a thing. I would actually recommend checking out Rebecca Heischman. She has a wonderful YouTube channel right here on this platform. Just type Rebecca with a K, Heischman, and maybe someone can type it in the live chat. She's an expert on histamine intolerance because she struggled heavily with it when she first went carnivore to heal. And she had to specifically and only eat non-aged meat. This really helped her get through her histamine intolerance. So eat non-aged meat. A great source is Billy Doe Meats. and try to not eat anything that's aged. This includes aged meats, aged
And
steaks,
cheese. Yeah.
and cheese. Cold cut meats that are in plastic packaging, like ham, prosciutto, that's been cured and aged. Those things are very high in histamines. But I'm not sure if Will even knows if he has histamine intolerance. So some go-to symptoms and signs are runny nose, itchy eyes. What else? Adek, did you have histamine intolerance?
No, no,
No.
I was lucky. No.
Yeah.
What else? Do you get it? Do you see it on skin as well, Bella?
Possible, but it's
Yeah.
really like the runny nose and the clogged
Yeah, right,
nose.
yeah,
Like you can't
yeah.
breathe through your nose is typically almost signs of an allergy, like a seasonal
Yeah,
allergies, right? Yeah.
I had it,
So,
but I ignored it. So
oh,
yeah,
you ignored it. It does go away. So that's
it
the
does
good
go
thing.
away. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't necessarily have to do all this fancy schmancy stuff to like cater to your histamine intolerance if you don't want to. You can
Yeah.
just give it time. Yeah.
And
Actually,
I
later
also
on,
heard to avoid egg white as well in the beginning.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Oh,
that,
right,
that really helps too. That definitely really helps. Awesome. Oh, I see a lot of Steak and Butter Gang members. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you here. Thanks for making the time to come to our Zoom calls and this. Yeah, awesome. Let's keep going. Tamara, also a member. Good to see you. This is for you, Todd. Which brand of amino acids do you recommend? A fellow
Yeah,
SB. Okay.
Oh, I never can get it on here. They're optimal aminos are the ones that I'm using. They're I don't know, they seem to work really well for me, but they're optimal aminos. They have them on Amazon, and they come usually 2 bottles together, but they have 300 count, and they're half the price of those ones in the blue. What were those ones in the blue bottle?
the perfect
Perfect
you know,
aminos.
yeah.
Yeah, so I was being cheap, but these ones seem to work just as good because I took tons of the perfect amino ones, and then these are half the price, and these ones work just as well. But these are the optimal amino ones.
You didn't like the stomach acid one that you tried?
I didn't like the powder, so I'll definitely
Yeah,
get them in the tablet form unless you want to feel it taste like you threw up in your mouth consistently. Yeah, they are gross.
Yeah. That's not
Must
good.
have
So
been a joke
Bella,
that they made.
Rebecca Craig responded, the super chat said, just grateful for the cool content. Been
Aw.
catching these each week. So,
Oh, thank
Aw.
you.
Thank you so
Yay.
much,
cool. Thank
Rebecca.
you.
so thanks for Rebecca.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Okay, there it is. I found it. It's on the screen. Appreciate your support. Come back every week. Please hang out with us.
Yes.
For sure.
Great.
All right.
Okay, Juliet. Hi.
We did
Are
Oh,
there
we did that one
benefits?
too.
Oh,
that one.
yes.
Yeah. So, all right, this one.
Sylvia, hello. What do we say to those that say, if you go carnivore, you will be losing major nutrients and minerals only found in plants, like in
my
fruits and veggies? Okay. That's
Right.
a very common one. I've been asked this in person before as well. I personally just say I was vegan and I was carnivore and I was standard American diet. Most
Can't
people
argue with
like to assume on social media, at least, they're like, is there like no way that this girl can just do a little bit of everything and just moderate maybe some balance? And I guess I just don't talk enough about the fact that I was on a standard American diet my whole life. And then I did vegan and then I did carnivore. And I feel the best on a carnivore diet. And to me, that's all that matters. Yeah.
Mhm.
What
Well,
would
let's not
you
forget.
say, Jack?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Go
you know,
ahead.
I don't really want to explain it, but they do ask, why meat and not veggies, and I say, I'm a lazy person. I just want all my nutrients and minerals in one little tiny package, and if I want all those variety, I have to have broccoli, carrot, tomato, everything, this and this and this to get it all together, and I can get it all in this one little meat steak.
Steak.
Yeah.
When they ask me that, I say like oxalates and pesticides.
Yes.
That's the nutrients that I'm missing. I seem to be running just fine without them.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it's easy. I just tell them, I'm so many years carnivore, and beforehand, I used to take handfuls of vitamins and all
Yes,
that, and
also.
I was feeling like crap. And now I haven't touched a vitamin pill in, I don't know, a long time. and I operate the best I've ever operated. So maybe, I don't know, but maybe I'm getting everything I'm needing. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. Also, I've always said I've never liked veggies, and I just should have listened to my body back then.
Right. I love that. That's right.
What was your wait? So none of you guys ever liked veggies, or was there a vegetable that you
Even when I was a
actually-
vegan, I was forcing myself and putting like so much nutritional yeast on that. It was so
Oh,
good.
nutritional yeast. I ate so much of that too. Yeah.
Is that vegetables?
No.
No, it's
No, it's the yeast, right? Yeah. Okay.
it's I don't know.
It's like
I
a
don't know what it
flaky.
is.
It's like a yellow, flaky, almost
Saying
savory.
it's cheese flavored.
Yeah, they say.
Did you
it's
know I found out there's no such thing as a vegetable? It's a culinary term. It's either stalks, leaves, roots, fruits.
Yeah.
But it's not. Vegetable is a culinary term. It's not a botanical term. And I was like, that's interesting.
What about plants?
Well, what
Stock. You mean,
Yeah.
I guess we don't
either
say
the stalk or the leaves, right?
right. No, I guess we don't say when we talk about food. I love eating plants. We usually say I
Right.
love eating vegetables or
That's
fruits.
right.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Mm.
Exactly. So I was like,
And-
interesting. So, but no, I can't. If there is one that I liked, that was because I had so much butter on it. So maybe asparagus, and the asparagus was all flimsy by then, all mush and butter. So I don't know if I like the butter or did I like the
Mm,
I like
What do you think?
jalapenos. Jalapenos are the only one I can think of.
jalapenos.
Really.
No, I don't like that.
Wait, are jalapenos vegetables or fruit?
Fruit.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, peppers.
Yeah, because
are
they have
fruit.
seeds.
They have
Right?
seeds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Lindy,
Mm.
what did you eat?
Yeah, I enjoyed vegetables. I love them, but it's nice with gravy and butter, as Raymond said. But I find vegetables very sweet to the taste, so I can't stop. I just like to keep eating. It's just like it gives me cravings. And even now, if I sneak a little vegetable in when I go to the mother-in-law, she always makes a nice meatloaf and puts a potato or some pumpkin on my plate, and that triggers cravings for me. So, yeah, I stay away because of that. Meat is the only thing that gives me that off switch, turns everything off, and then I can, I've spent 50 years consumed by food. I'm just always wanting it. And now that I don't have the fruit, veg, carbs in my body, I've got that off switch that I eat my meat, turn it off, and go off and live my life. I've never had that before. So I definitely felt I was broken before.
Lindy, you're right. Potatoes, rice, there's no off switch for me. Forget it. Bread, that's the other one. No off switch.
My no off switch food when I was vegan was dried mangoes for some reason.
Mangoes. Oh,
Dried mangoes.
Fried
though.
ones.
dried mangoes. Okay.
My
Well, that's
gosh,
super
so addicting.
sweet. That's probably why. Yeah.
Probably. For those who are still here in the live chat, if you like vegetables or fruit, what would be your go-to vegetables that you like genuinely enjoy eating? Because I didn't have any. I
Not
love
just
fruit,
because it's
but not vegetables. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. And Dr. Phil, if you have to go, no problem.
Oh,
Don't feel like
I'll hang in there a little bit longer, but
Okay.
I'm doing
appreciate
fine.
you.
I'm teaching a 2-hour leadership training in the morning, so
Oh boy.
I'll probably bail at 10 p.m. Eastern. So
Got it. Yep. Okay. Kim, hello. Could you explain priming more? And to add, I don't have a gallbladder.
Okay. Priming is, I'm just going to keep it as simple as possible. First of all, it's a period of time, right about 3 weeks total, more than likely 2 weeks total, where you're eating 3 meals per day, comfortably stuffed. If you have coffee or anything else other than water, you're drinking it as a dessert. Okay, so the rule is definitely always have breakfast. The other rule is you are not allowed to go hungry at any point in those times. So if you even feel hunger, then you need to question whether you're doing it right. During that stage of time, you should not feel hunger. So that's the basic definition of priming. We go 2 weeks of the first week is going 3 meals plus snack. The second week is 3 meals. The third week, we start testing what the hunger feels like with the 2 weeks. We're focusing on the intensity of the hunger. If your hunger is intense,
you're not ready to go to that next level yet.
Yeah.
Oh, and if you don't have a gallbladder, you'll have to do like Lindy does. So eat every couple hours, small bites, 5 bites every hour, like Lindy. Whatever you need to do is eating all day long until you just cannot. So eventually you'll go from 6 meals or 5 meals, and you just can't do 5 meals anymore. And you'll go to 4 meals and etc. And that's the way to prime with no gallbladder or any issues with stomach restrictions.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yep. Did you want to chime in, Lindy?
No, definitely. Priming is fantastic even if you've got the lap band surgery or other surgeries, and gallbladder as well. Just take it slow and eat those small meals, small bites.
Yes. And again, Raymond explained that beautifully, but we do have dedicated priming and dedicated fasting troubleshooting calls and classes that Raymond runs in the gang every single week. So that would be the best place to make sure that you're doing it properly in the best way possible to reap the best results. And we do kick off our day 1 tomorrow. So anyone who's new here and looking for a challenge, we start tomorrow. It's in the chat and in the description. Okay, let's keep going. Bob, hello. I've been carnivore for a short 36 days. Is it good to start fasting now, Raymond?
Are you tired of eating? Have you eaten to the point where you're like, I just can't stand it. I cannot stand eating 3 meals, or whether you're eating 5 meals, I just can't stand eating this much. Then I can say you're ready for fasting. Before that, you're not.
Yeah. And here's the thing. For example, Lindy, she never ever really got to a sweet spot of fasting or getting into the groove of fasting, right, Lindy? You can talk about that.
Yeah, I can't prime enough to be able to do a fast without white knuckling, and the program wants you not to white knuckle when you're fasting. So, yeah, I just have to use priming as a tool because I constantly undereat because meat is very satiating for me, and I'm just not hungry. And so I tend to tank my metabolism a lot and everything stalls. And then I have to do the prime, and that's just eating consistently for 2 or 3 days, a couple of bites every hour. That's it, the way that I have to deal with it. So these tools I've learned in SBG Gang. Otherwise I would have fallen off the wagon a long time ago because carnivore wouldn't work for me because I didn't have those tools that I need. So
Love that. Thank you, Lindy. Let's keep going. And then we'll wrap up after three more questions. Okay. Adriana, I'm 53-year-old woman. How much calories, meats and seafood, how much fat? I think we've discussed this quite a lot today in the live. None of us here counts our calories, and none of us here tracks our fat. Okay. And so this says a lot. We all are thriving. We've all collected some fantastic victories in healing. So we collectively challenge you to stop thinking about that. Just stop. No need to count the calories. Just don't. Eat
It's
to
freeing.
satiation. It's
Yeah.
a different
as much as
life.
possible.
It is so wonderful.
And this
Yeah.
is a great follow-up question right after it to go right along with this with a different person, but this is awesome.
Okay.
Perfect. M21, hello. Do you have any info or resource on using carnivore to heal an eating addiction? Addiction to eating, it's yeah.
Eat.
Exactly.
Yes.
Love it, Todd.
Eat
What
carnivore.
Yeah, eat meat. I mean, eat carnivore. Eat
Yeah,
carnivore.
Carnivore.
Dairy is okay. Eat carnivore.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Again, community is so helpful
Yeah.
when
That
you're in
too.
a community,
There are
because
so many that can resonate. So sorry, Dr. Phil, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, just saying that we have many members who have an addiction, and eating the addiction is one of them. And you're not the only one when you come to our gang, and we're going to help each other there.
And we're familiar with this, okay? And it's going to happen on carnivore too. You're going to eat a whole bunch and then feel this guilt or shame, even on carnivore. So this is why you need community saying, hey, no, let go of that shame. Let go of that guilt. You're feeding yourself something that's needed. We're so used to that past restriction of ourselves when we binge, and then we'll fast the next day or attempt to, and then eat the house again. And we just repeat that over and over again. So it's hard to also unwind what's been instilled in us, to think that even eating food is a punishment for, I mean, not punishment. It goes with a reward and punishment mindset. We're telling you that eating food is what your body is calling out for. That's why it has an addiction to eating. It wants to eat real food. When it has that, there's no more addiction. Then it's like, I don't need that anymore. Lindy's the best example. I love how she says she has her off switch with carnivore, right? Lindy?
Yeah. I couldn't stop eating, and it's not because I was hungry. It's just that want for food, that comfort. I felt, a lot of things happened in my life, and it was like it was a hole inside me, and I was using food to fill that void, and I couldn't get around it. It was just like I was spiraling and just couldn't snap out of it. And meat's broken that spiral. I've now stopped. I can now just turn off and then go off and do other things. I'm not constantly consumed by food anymore. And I think it's just the way your body is like screaming out for nourishment, because I ate a lot, but it was all the wrong food.
Right.
So now that I'm eating meat, my body's feeling nourished. I've got that off switch, and I'm living life again.
I just always felt like. No, I was just gonna say, I always felt like, for my whole life, I just felt like my low oil light was coming on in my car, and I kept gassing up the tank and getting back in, and the oil light didn't go off. And I was like, why? Should be going off. And everybody says this, just do that. And it's just, I wasn't eating what my brain was calling for, my body wanted the nutrients, and I just kept putting in empty fuel, just empty, nutriently empty fuel. And so, once I believed Raymond long enough to eat 7 pounds of meat a day, I think that was going to cure my, my eating problem. It did. It really did. And it's free. So.
And remember, we're in a society where the companies, the environment has created highly addictive foods that are there to accomplish food addictions, from high fructose corn syrup to sugar and everything, to all kinds of things to get you to just have cravings and want to have no end to the amount of food that you eat. And meat and fatty meats will help you to learn what satiety and hunger really are, and allow you to modulate yourself. But that supportive community is so important, because fear is a monster in your brain that will keep you from being successful. You need to be around like-minded people to help you process that on almost a daily basis. As Todd said, you don't need feedback once a week. You need it probably every day when you're going through a food addiction. Because a food addiction is really just an addiction to some element of food. It's not an addiction to all food.
No.
You need food to survive.
That's right.
And it's nice not to feel so alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Always, in anything, in any aspect of life, it's nice to not feel alone. So this is the last question I would like to wrap up with, actually, because I do have a question for everyone watching, since we're on this topic of food addiction. And this person who asked it feels like there's still an addiction with carnivore foods as well. This is a nuance that I hear every now and again, where people truly believe that there are carnivore foods even where that addiction comes out. Is this possible? Or is this maybe just a misunderstanding of what that addiction is?
I just think they're not eating enough. But yeah, let me hear you, Dr. Phil.
Well, I think of addictions often driven by dopamine in your brain. And if anything, people that eat lots of fatty meats, the one thing that we see is a normalization of neurotransmitters in the brain over time. And we see so many people get over bulimia, anorexia, depression, anxiety, phobias, all
Mhm.
these things because they're nourishing their brain with enough fat, because your brain needs fat and protein to
Mhm.
properly uh, create healthy neurons in a healthy environment. And we have so starved our brains with inflammatory foods, which are low caloric value and high inflammatory value. And we're paying a price for that as a society. So, and I always say it's, you got to understand you're not to blame. It's, it, it's been pushed for the last 50 years from the moment the food diagram was designed to get you to eat a way that keeps you eating in a way that keeps you eating in a way. And you just got to be brave enough to finish the cycle. And yes, it's naturally to be fearful, but one thing we all learn as carnivore is over a time you get two things: a carnivore calm and a carnivore courage. And it's
I love that.
really a
Love that.
stabilization of our neurotransmitters that we get. And
Mm.
I commonly refer to the tryptophan deficiency that people get that lead to depression. And I show the actual biochemical pathway of how tryptophan, which is an amino acid, gets converted to 5-HTP in the brain, which is the precursor to serotonin, which is a very, very stabilizing neurotransmitter in your brain. Dopamine's the one that is really driven by addictions and highs and things like that.
Yes.
And, your brain can't function well if you're not giving that what we call the substrates or the building blocks to build a healthy environment for your brain to function at optimal. So it's okay to be fearful. Doesn't mean you shouldn't start.
Exactly. It is okay to be fearful. It's also okay to gain 30 pounds of weight when you first start, by the way. That happened to me. That's the reason why I'm here today. I will never, ever stop talking about that. The initial weight gain, the priming, all of it. It's necessary for a lot of us, So, okay. We'll wrap up here. I see a message. Do you guys have YouTube channels? So let's just go around the room and share where everybody can find you all, and then we'll wrap up the live. Okay. So, Dr. Phil, where are your socials?
That's a joke because I'm pretty much visible on social media except for the Steak and Butter Gang.
Yeah,
So
you forgot about USPS, Phil.
what's that?
You
The
forgot
post
about US.
The post office where they have my picture up for FBI
Oh, really? That's sweet.
most wanted carnivore.
Banned from this office.
Yeah. So,
Raymond?
Dr. Phil's an SPG exclusive. That's right. Raymond, go ahead.
I do have a YouTube out there, and I did post one thing after 2 years. So a nice coaching story, and I'm gonna start playing with it a little more. So a lot of people come to mind for the carnivore bites. So it's little tips and tricks about getting your carnivore done right. So come by and check it out. See if you enjoy that.
Perfect. Adek?
You can find me in the gang, and my IG is adek.carnivore. Yeah, that's it.
Perfect. Todd?
Yeah, and I'm the Carnivore Cure on YouTube, Rumble, Instagram, and TikTok, I believe. Yeah, I think I remember what my handle was on there, and Carnivore Cure on X, and always in the SBG gang as well.
Lindy?
I'm limitlesslindy on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, but I'm not a very good social media influencer. I'll try and do better.
Nice. Also, check out the description box for more links and clickable places to go to. Okay, thank you guys so much. What a great
we
live
got one
stream.
more thing. We forgot to talk about Hack Your Health. And
Yeah. Thank you very much. The Hack Your Health link is in the description box. But yes,
and I
we
just
should
put it in
shout
the
out Hack
chat
Your
as
Health.
well. Yep.
Thank you, Todd.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So Hack Your Health is 2025 in Tampa, Florida. Okay. And what's so special about Hack Your Health is it's currently the biggest carnivore convention. So if you want to meet all of your favorite carnivore advocates and all of us here, and also make carnivore friends, because there are so many people from the carnivore community who show up to learn, connect, have a great time. And because it's in Tampa, this is a very nice little vacation probably for a lot of people. Check it out. We do recommend that you guys get the tickets, because the pricing really does increase month after month after month. It will never be this cheap. If you get it now, you'll get the best deal. Anything that I missed, Dr. Phil?
Well, Bella's going to be participating in 2 panels, and one of them I'm going to be on, and we're going to be talking about how to survive as a carnivore in a non-carnivore world. So we think it'll be a really good talk. And my focus is going to be how to turn your doctor from your parent to your partner, which I think a lot of people are interested in learning how to get your doctor on your side rather than them telling you what you need to be doing and not listening to you. So,
Exactly.
and it's also my home turf. So,
Yay.
yes. Someone watching now says, anyone heard of Dr. Boz? Yes, she's in Tampa as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
very
we have a
cool.
lot of carnivores around here.
Oh, she'll probably be
Maybe
there
she'll
then.
come too.
Yeah, she'll
I'm
come
sure
too.
she
Yeah.
probably will.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Awesome.
And I'd reckon that we're probably going to be doing another SBG like meet and greet at a food joint again, right? Like a meat buffet or something.
100%, we're going to make it happen. Yes. Usually what we do is we wait for the schedule of when the team and I are going to present, and then we'll work around the schedule. So we obviously want a pocket where we have plenty of hours to just sit down and eat, hang out, connect. So stay posted by joining forum. Maybe I should just drop that link too. Okay. Because that's
There
where
you
I usually post the RSVPable event. Oh, thank you. BB, Hack Your Health was actually in Texas. Now it is leaving Texas and going to Tampa. So I think I guess you missed the Texas version this year, but I'm sure it'll go back in the future. Okay. Free forum chat. See you guys next week. Thank you guys so much. Love you guys and enjoy your weekend. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.